Fire it up, footballers. How's it all going? James from Spit and Fire checking in as per usual on Wednesday night. We got a special one for you. Simulating MLS 2023. We're going to be using FIFA 2023. Do it. FIFA 23. Having a little fun with that. Some simulation. What's up, everybody? Watching this live or after the fact. We'd love to read your comments. Love to mix it up and get into it about MLS, world soccer, whatever else you guys have thoughts on. Let's have a little fun here tonight, though. We're going to be checking MLS rosters for everybody before we really take a deeper dive into how to go about fixing the Chicago Fire. Excited to get about that here on FIFA 23. We're also going to, when it comes to the Fire, we're going to try to identify holes in the roster, at least as far as FIFA goes. Look at our potential prospects for the future, you know, ones that we want to hold on to, maybe develop and let them grow into the position. Identify key players, identify people who might be moving on at the end of the season or next season just because they might either outgrow the club or the club might outgrow them, you know, so to speak, or, you know, or maybe greener pastures is just needed. And then we'll move into identify targets. We'll identify some targets for the Chicago Fire to acquire in the transfer window. And then we'll maybe play a game or two, and then we'll sim to the end of the season and find out the results for how the Chicago Fire could end up doing in 2023. And for that matter, the rest of MLS, how they're doing. I got Angus McHorton, the Archduke himself, checking in, saying, hello, James. By the way, I dislike the new playoff format. I totally agree. We'll talk about that and more here today in Spit and Fire. Appreciate the live chat tossing a couple logs on the fire as per usual. Has helped stir up the conversation right around here. That's what they do. We've got one of the best live chats on YouTube. And tonight, hanging out with a little, what is this? Angels Envy. That is the plan. Let's go, everybody. Enjoy. Response. There we go. Oh, I think we're going for all of it, boys and girls. Ooh. There it goes. Been saving it for a special occasion. MLS start of the season. Certainly special. We got MLS Plus on Apple TV available to a lot of you. I know a lot of people have been chiming in the comments and some of my other videos saying, I got it. I'm excited. Other people saying, nah, I didn't get it. And other people saying, I can't wait. I'm already using it. I can't wait for Saturday and to see what is on offer for MLS. I myself, as a Chicago Fire fan, won't have a lot of Chicago Fire action to watch, but I will have a lot of MLS action. By the way, cheers. Everybody, cheers. Welcome. Spit and Fire, where we have fun, talk a little soccer, talk a little whatever. Some stuff going on in the world. Woo-wee. We know. Oh, we know. But instead, let's focus. Let's refocus. Let's have a little fun here. Why don't we? And I think I've already identified the next coach that we'll be playing with here on this little save. And also have identified a specific a type of formula, you know, as far as how we want players lining up. We'll talk about that more. Let us know in the comments below what you think we should play. Should it be a 4-2-3? Should it be a 4-2-3-1? Should it be a 4-1-3-1 2? Or should it be a 4-3-3? Should it be a 5-2-3? 5-3-2? Yeah, let us know in the comments below or live or after the fact what kind of lineup you'd like to see, and we'll, you know, maybe the coach will matter, and I'll let you know on that in a minute here. And before we do, if you could take a moment to kick that like button, greatly appreciate it. Does a lot. I mean, just taking that moment, thanks. I greatly appreciate it because I'm trying to make you have fun and get you out of your seat and and enjoy yourself a little bit, because this is what I want to do. I aim to entertain. You ever see that when you're you're at you're at the urinal and there's a little marker on the bathroom above that says, you know, we aim to entertain, but you aim to please. Right? Or we aim to please. You aim to please. Talking about your aiming of your. What's up, everybody? Oh, you know what? I'll definitely have Discord open for people wanting to get activated, talk about a little MLS action, talk about their teams, talk about some fun stuff. Talk a little soccer. And let's break right into it. I even have some interesting podcasts pulled up on the side that we'll be listening to while we go about building this team. Some interesting perspectives that I wanted to gloss over, to take a look at. Not gloss over, but yeah, to take a look at, to investigate. Hank is saying I might need to buy an iPad for this. The Apple TV appears a bit choppy on my Windows computer through Google Chrome. That should not be the case. I am saddened to hear that, Angus. I have not used Apple TV yet on anything but my app of the TV, of the smart TV we have. Going through. We got FC Neo Token saying what? Can come through and be toxic? Yes. yes you can. And if you have you and the people watching live after the fact, that's what we do here. We have fun. We are having fun with MLS. Oh man, I was in a Garth Marenghi dark place. Really good show. Like old funny show. You'll see some of the actors from. You'll be like, oh, that voice, that guy. Seen him in things before. I've heard his voice. He talks like this. Of course, he's a thespian. Doctor, where are you? I do not know. FC Neo Tokyo saying, all right, give me 10. Right here. All right, so let's quickly, before FC Neo Tokyo comes in and absolutely obliterates the stream with his energy and his hilarity, we will quickly cover what I was going to say is the before part before we get into the Chicago Fire. Let's go to team sheets. That's create a player. That's not team sheets. And you want to be a little bit more responsive. By the way, they got women's teams. England, international. Look at that. France. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah. But by the way, we're going to America. That's the plan right now. This is FIFA 23, by the way. This is FIFA 23. Next year, FIFA 23 will not be named FIFA 23. They do not have St. Louis FC in this game. I don't know if they'll have St. Louis FC in the next game because they lose the FIFA license. But anyway, here's the Fire license. All right, so here's the lineups for MLS besides at least St. Louis, but I'll talk about theirs in a minute. But I greatly appreciate you guys, all you guys joining here live or after the fact. Oh, who do you guys think is going to win MLS? Let us know in the comments below while we go with this. Atlanta United with Giacomakis, Etienne Jr., Araujo, Almada, Sosa, Rosetto, Gutman, old Chicago Fire guy, Sanchez, Berrata, Abram, and Lennon, as well as Westberg in net. Meanwhile, Austin FC led from the front line by Ruti, followed closely behind by Driussi. Over on the left wing, you got Fagundes and Lundqvist in left back. Over on the right wing, you got Rigoni and Lima at the right back. Meanwhile, the men in the middle, it's Austin Ring and Pereira, Weissenine and Cascante. Of course, the center backs, and Stuver in net for Austin FC. Big things expected from them. CF Montreal, they're going to have to be sporting a new coach. How do you think they're going to do this season? You got Kyoto leading the line up top along with Kamara. Will that remain? Is that the same Kamara that I'm thinking about? Because I heard that Ola Kamara is available. By the way, right behind him is Miljevic, which is not to be confused with Georgi Mihailovic, who used to be on CF Montreal, but now is over in the Netherlands. The Dutch League, the Eredivisie, having a blast, scoring goals, getting assists, making Chicago proud. Over on the left wing, you got over here in CF Montreal, meanwhile, you have Laipalainen and Piete Wanyama. Yes, that Wanyama. Meanwhile, over on the right wing by himself, it's Brod Gillard, he who has a funny name. Meanwhile, in the back, three men in the back, they have Miller, Camacho, who is always like a name that's generated in the I always get a Camacho in in my youth academy in FIFA 18, 16, 20, right? You always get a Camacho and they'd always be a stud, right? I wonder if it was the same Camacho. Maybe FIFA knew something. They were carrying the water for this man. Speaking of carrying the water, you got the water man. He's not the water boy anymore. He's the water man. Meanwhile, Pantemis saying, it's a little bit too far to the right, so kick it in the net. All right, so Pantemis, your Pantemis is showing. Meanwhile, moving on to Charlotte FC. Angus saying that I think that Austin has a good chance of winning it all. We'll take a quick peek at Austin's team. Angus thinks has a good chance of winning it all. Look at that. We're not going to get into the who's unnamed subs. Meanwhile, leading the line for Charlotte, it's Swiderski. And you have Santos, Vargas, Westwood, Jones, and Josviak. Meanwhile, in the back, it's going to be the four. That is to say, Affel, Korohu, Malanda, Byrne, or in other words, Cisniega is in the back. And they're going to be doing all their work out of Charlotte FC or on the road. Will they have a chance? Will they have a prayer? I'm not too sure about Charlotte FC. Montreal, they have a good team despite losing their coach. Austin FC, really good team. I think they have good stuff going for them. Atlanta United, they're going to have they've struggled in recent years. They have a lot to prove. But they have the lineup. Moving on to your Chicago Fire. Kasper Prishabilko leading the line. Right behind him is Jordan Shaqiri, the man from the Swiss mountaintops, taking off the tops of the Swiss Alps with the tops of his ski kicks. It's Shaqiri. Over on the left, it's the American from Chicago, Illinois, Chris Mueller. Over on the right wing from Chicago, Illinois, Brian Gutierrez. Over in the left back, you have Miguel Navarro. I wonder how long that will remain a thing. Let me know in the comments below. In the man in the middle, it's the captain, Chicos. Chico's just doing work. One of the best defenders in the league, captain. Even though a near last place side to show for it, they had great goalkeeping out of Gago Sonia, and they had great defense out of Chicos. Right next to him, it's Pineda. Will that stand? Will it be Ohmsberg? Will it be someone else? Will it be Carlos Terran stepping up to fill in that center back role instead of Pineda? A lot left to be seen from your Chicago Fire. And the new man, it's Arnaud Souquet. He's got a bouquet of lovely right there in his back pocket for you, and he's happy to see you. And his name, he will call you Mademoiselle. He will kiss you up just like you is Pepe Le Pew. And then he will stink all over the other part of the field and make it bad for the other team and make them regretful that they even came and scored the goals and saved the goals. Also make us a wins for here in Chicago, as well as building a souffle. And that is what we will expect from Arnaud Souquet. Let's go. Meanwhile, you got Richie predicted to start back. I don't think that's going to be true. I actually think, you know what? It might be. You got Gal, who's rated very considerably similar, but it is expected that Brady will be the starter. Gal expected to kind of be the backup. And Richie kind of also be the backup. They'll be pushing each other on to such great heights. Fall down now. Hopefully not to the bottom of the league. Right? Yes, we could save that. We will allow that. Moving on to the Colorado Rapids. Not so rapid anymore with Rubio. With Rubio up top. He's a more diminutive forward, but still quite good. Can score, coming back from Europe after doing some damage over there. You got Lewis, the old New Yorker, over on that left side. I wish he was a Chicago Fire player earlier in his career, because I think he's always been pretty good. But I do like that Chicago Fire of Chris Mueller in that same position. I think it's much more of an upgrade. Meanwhile, Barrios and Max, as well as Baitashur, Price, Acosta, Maxo, Abubakar, Keegan Rosenberry, and Yarbrough. Yarbrough had a good season last year. Let's see if he can build upon that. And as well as Acosta, made an appearance at the World freaking Cup. Columbus What do we expect out of the Fire? 10th place, 9th place, an improvement on their 11th place finish? Yes. But maybe a DP signing that replaces Prishabilko, pushes him out. Maybe that makes it something that makes this team a little bit better. We'll see. Columbus, Colorado, they always are like in it, but I'm not going to expect too much out of the Colorado Rapids. Columbus Crew. It's the yellow team. They got Hernandez leading the line along with Zell Ryan right behind them. Both expected to maybe even abscond back to Europe at some point. Both very, very good players as well. Going to be coached by their brand new coach. I forget his name right now. Molino, Diaz, Darlington, Nagby, Morris, James, I think James Sand's little brother on the left back, Degenek, Williams, Morera, and Room in net. If I could remember the Columbus Crews, Wilfred? Does that sound about right? Columbus Crew FC coach. It's Wilfred Nancy. That's who it is. Makes sense, right? I think they're going to be doing well this year. I predicted them to be doing 5th, 6th, making the playoffs borderline, right? DC United, one of the worst teams in the league last year. However, Christian Benteke now leading the front line. However, Wayne Rooney now the coach, head coach. However, they shipped out old fan favorite Julian Gressel over to Whitecaps. So that is going to be an impact that DC United will have to overcome because he was the engine of that team. He made a lot of the things work there. But when Wayne Rooney came in, he said, you know what? We're trying to do something else here. I want to do something else. He's like, I want to win. And I'm not sure I can win with you as well as everybody else here, but also we could use you to help us win in the future because you need to win now. You deserve to win now. So he sent him to Vancouver? Man, Chicago Fire fucked up. How were Chicago Fire not in on that trade? Guys, comment below. That's a fuck up. I think Chicago Fire should have struck for Julian Gressel, but he might get paid a little bit too much. Is he getting DP wages? That might be a slight complication there. Meanwhile, Benteke, Ravel Morrison, Santos, yes, that Ravel Morrison, Funtas, Klitsch, Canus, Ruan, Pines, or Pines, Birnbaum, Najar, and Bono in net for DC United. Do you expect them to do anything better than their last place finish? Connor saying hello. James Room won't be starting on Saturday. Even Evan Bush will start. Room had trouble with visas and green paper. He forgot to dot the I's in his name. Think about it. Check his middle name. FC Cincinnati. They've had a good season last year. I think that they're going to build upon that, right? Don't you guys think that? Brenner up top with Vasquez and Acosta. I mean, who has a more vicious top three, front three? That is just really hard to deal with than that. I mean, Chicago Fire had John Duran, who was very difficult for just on his own for people to deal with. Adding in the mix with Jordan Shaqiri, Brian Gutierrez, and Chris Mueller, it was, it was starting to look dangerous. We're not going to be able to see that anymore with John Duran gone. This front three in Cincinnati looks dangerous. And look at that spine. Marino, Nwobodo. I got Arias on the right side. Hagelin, Mascara, Miazga, Murphy. Dude. FC Cincinnati came into the league just a few years ago and are knocking the league socks off. They're much better than the Chicago Fire are, at least at this moment in time. Let's know if you agree or disagree. This looks like potential cup-winning team. Angulo, Kubo, Baji, Santos, Gaddis Khan. Their second line guys start on the Chicago Fire, guys. Their second line guys, Santos. He'd start over Prishabilko. Maybe he's 1 point different. Kubo, arguable starter on the Fire. Angulo, Powell, no longer a starter, but could have been if they didn't go get Ardad Suket. Same with Gaddis. Khan, the best player, the best goalkeeper on the Fire, and he's the bench goalkeeper for this team, for FC Cincinnati. Barreal, Vermeer, Blackett, Luro, Ordonez, Bailey, Walters. This is a good, solid team. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of FC Cincinnati. Very dangerous. Might win the league. You didn't hear that here first, but I'll say it. Watch out. Maybe play some bets on them early in the season to win. Might be able to make a few shekels there or lose a few shekels because I'm not that great at the betting. FC Dallas coming in. Ferreira, Ariola, Leggett, Cirillo, Pamical, O'Brien, Farfen, Martinez, Tafari, Tumasi, and Baez. Good team, solid team, not the best team, young team, but a young team with heart, a young team that's good, a young team that proved something last season and that shows that they have something that they can build upon, because actually that young team largely not turning over this season like they were last season. A lot of the turmoil that they experienced and the growing pains of last season may be behind them, especially because they were able to see success, at least far more than the Chicago Fire's young team were able to. Chicago Fire were in a similar situation, right? Where they had to rely on young players to have success. But a lot of the times, the flaws in the roster, he reared its ugly head for the Chicago Fire. Not so for FC Dallas, who, they're going to be one of the better teams in the league, and you got to watch out for that for sure. Houston Dynamo, Ferreira, Carrasquilla, Bayard, Herrera, Artur. I remember him. You guys remember him from that yellow team. Farson, Van der Koost, Hadebe, Steres, Escobar, and Clark. Houston might be a little bit better than they were last year. I mean, you got Hector Herrera, right? He's sitting there in the middle of that back, and ideally he's going to get a longer season, but this is still not a good team. This team will have to absolutely blow us away, because look at how underrated it is. They rate Artur and Herrera. They're like everybody else. Maybe. They don't see it. FIFA doesn't see it. So we'll see with Houston. Inter Miami. Martinez leading the line. It's Taylor and Stefan Ali. Wow, so Joseph Martinez has landed in Inter Miami. Will he get a full season in leading the line for Phil Neville and the Inter Miami boys before Leo Messi comes aboard next year? Who knows? Lassiter, Stefanali, Taylor, Jean Mota, Gregor also in the fold. Negri, Mabika, Kristov, and DeAndre Yedlin, old friend from the U.S. men's national teams. Things you like to see. Axon, what's up? What's up? We're just getting into talking a little preseason MLS action before we get into Chicago Fire and try and make them better, improve them for this season, see what we can do. And in the back, in goalkeeping position, you have this guy named Calendar. No, that's not the thing you use to pull your spaghetti out from water. I mean, it is, but that's a guy though. Its name's Calendar. Calendar. It's Calendar. Calendar. Is it Calendar or is it Calendar? Let us know in the comments, because I don't know. I'd say Calendar. Like I put like an O into that Calendar, but that's a call. Calendar. That's what does he work for? AT&T? Calendar. Beep. LA Galaxy saying LA Galaxy have Chicharito Hernandez. Always a present danger. Rodriguez over to his left. You have Alvarez, Puig, Delgado, Brugman right behind him. They might be a little bit better than they were last year, right? Edwards, Caceres, Koulibaly, Araujo, and Bond. Greatly appreciate all you guys joining. By the way, guys, thank you for hanging out here. AFC. By the way, I'm asking if you want, while we go through these teams, whether or not you think these teams are going to do well. Do you think this is a good lineup or not? I think Dallas is going to be good. Houston, they might be a little bit better than they were last year. Enter Miami. Nah. Until Leo Messi comes, I'm not buying it. LA Galaxy, I think they'll be a little bit better. LAFC, the league champions. You got to imagine that they'll be fine. You got to imagine that they'll be amongst the league's best. Maybe not repeating. Do you think they will? If there's ever a team that could repeat, would it be this team? They have Vela, they have Buanga, they have Buke, they have Acosta, Cifuentes, Sanchez. They no longer have Gareth Bale, though. He's gone. He's left the team. They do have Acosta. Oh, that's the Acosta I was thinking of. That's a different Acosta over in that other team. I was like, oh, look at that Acosta. I'm going to have to double check which Acosta that is. Cifuentes, Sanchez, Chiellini. Oh my gosh, he's so dominant. Palacios, Long, Hollingshead. How crepo? How could they not repeat? Murillo on the bench. Tillman, Torres, Opoku, Palencia, Seguru, McCarthy. I mean, this is a good team. Jakubovic. This is a good, deep team. They have quality players from start to finish. Look at how good their starting lineup is. This is good enough for a championship. They could be making a promotion run in championship. Paunovic would have loved to have a team like this at Reading before he got fired, right? Looking good here. Looking good. LA Galaxy are going to be okay, but the LAFC, they're going to be the team to end LA to watch. You mark my words. But LA Galaxy, they're going to be trying to compete. They're going to be trying to be like, hey, everybody in LA, look over here. Take a look at us. We're spectacular. And LAFC is going to be like, yeah, they are spectacular. In fact, they're downright lovely. But they just put like Fabio out there in soccer form. I mean, Chiellini, Bella. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Definitely could be the pick to win it all again, right? Makes sense. I mean, it might be a good bet. Minnesota going to be putting forth Maria Reynoso. Dod. He's got a big one. Arriaga, Trap, Fraggle Rock, Fragapane, Lawrence, Joey, whoa, Lawrence, whoa. Debussy, Claude Debussy, Boxing Day Boxall. I mean, you always see Boxall. I can't believe they went out and getting Boxall. You always see Boxall as an available free agent in those past FIFAs. They played FIFA so much in Minnesota, they were sick of it. They were like, you know what? Bring him in. Let's see what he's got. You got Taylor on that right wing, and then St. Clair and goalkeeper. You guys really think that this Minnesota team could do it again? I do. They're better than they seem. They have some sort of je ne sais quoi magique about them, a sort of mystique that just is goes unnoticed and sometimes unbalanced by the opponent, like unquantified for by the opponent, and just the opponent comes in and they're like, oh, this is Minnesota, they're new to the league, oh, c'est la vie, we can walk in with a laissez-faire type of attitude, and then they get stomped by like Heath Pierce in Minnesota. And I, as a Chicago Fire fan, I'm like, what? What the is going on here? How come we're left in the dust? Meanwhile, Minnesota, Austin, and Cincinnati just hit the ground running. And Cincinnati's going to be making LAFC sweat this season for sure. I think it's going to be those two teams are going to be having a lot to say. Now, another good team, Nashville SC. Where does, by the way, I do think that Minnesota could make the playoffs and probably will make the playoffs. Nashville SC. And if you guys ever have comments on these teams, if you guys think that they suck dick, if you think that they soak a lot of cork, or if you think that they're the bee's knees and you want to get their honey from them and subscribe to their newsletter, let us know in the comments. We love to read them. Nashville saying sabong ding dong. Up top, he's going to be scoring goals, and he was struggling to be finding starting time here for Chicago Fire. He goes over to Nashville and leads the line, takes over starting duties, not even being looked at to be replaced. Just CJ Sapong, MLS player, starter, and Fire gave up on him, I think, a little bit too early. And speaking of, I got other guys that Fire might have given up on a little too early, and I myself might have given up on a little too early. It's Dax McCarty, the captain for Nashville, still putting up a 70 in FIFA. You got Ani Mukhtar, who was playing out of his mind last year. I wonder if he can keep up the pace. Davis, Liao, Schaffelberg. Love it, the critic. Maher, Zimmerman, Walker, the Viking Zimmerman. Moore, is that Shaq Moore? Yep. Over on that right back. And Willis in goalkeeping, in goal net, in the goal mouth, in the mouth of the goal, in the place where the shots come and he has to put out his hands, and he's been finally awarded the ability to stop penalties. This team is good. I'm going to put them up there in my top 4. Nashville, LAFC, and Cincinnatus. FC Cincinnatus. Those, and look at that. FC Cincinnati and Nashville, they're like right down the street from each other. LA Galaxy or LAFC, they have a whole mountain range in between them, so have to figure that out. But New England, Boo. No, not the ghost move. I'm talking about the player Boo, or Bow, if you want to call him that. Gill. No, not the fish. I'm talking about the player Carlos Gill. There's a second Gill. What is this? Look at this. There's a brother Gill. The brothers Gill. They brought another Gill over because they want him to be happy. And he's like, I play with my brother, I'd be happy. Yes, of course, he's from Russia. Is he really from Russia? No, he's from Spain. His brother also from Spain. Me, I am not from there. Borrero over on the left wing. Old friend of the fire, Matty Polster. McNamara in the center mid. Of course, I think this is going to be a good team. I mean, they have Bruce Arena, who, I mean, you might think he doesn't know anything, but gosh damn, he must know something, right? He's won MLS that much. Jones, Kessler, Farrell, bye on over at right back, and just Petrovic trying to take over in that goalkeeping position. This is going to be a better team than the Chicago Fire. This team missed the playoffs last year, however. They did not perform to expectations. And the rumor was, there were no rumors. They were never going to be firing Bruce Arena, because Bruce Arena would be like, scooped up like a bag of shells at the beach. I don't know who wants those shells, but somebody does. Moving on. New York City, by the way, cheers everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Spitfire. Greatly appreciate it. You guys hanging out, talking a little MLS soccer talk, getting ready for the MLS season 2023. Who's going to win it all? I have no fucking clue. Do you? You might. I think you might. Let us know. We've had some people drop just knowledgeable, just right on the money, like just dart throws. And just nail it. So love to hear your predictions. Talis Magno. It's Magneto. Talis Magno leading the line for New York City. I don't really know if New York City's really going to be that good. I mean, they did win MLS Cup, 2-3 years ago, but really they lost a lot. They lost Tati, and they lost the heart of the team. They lost too much, and I just don't think that New York is going to be able to do it. Pellegrini, he can deliver a pizza though. So can Rodriguez. Morales is okay. I like Parks, Keaton Parks, over there in the middle. Andrade, yet to be proven. Kufre, he might be able to do something, but Chanot, Martins, you like in the middle. Gray on the right back remains a lot of questions. Freeze, you have no idea. And the other thing you have no idea about still, for all these years, where the fuck these guys are going to play beyond Yankee Stadium. Can they get over to the Met Stadium? Can they get them over to New Jersey? They got to get New York City a team, or I'm sorry, a park, an arena, a place to play. And what I don't understand is why they don't come to New York Red Bulls with an offer they can't refuse. Hear me out. Some of you might be saying, no, the New York Red Bulls home? It's sacrilegious. That's the New York Red Bulls home. And some of you are just like, nope, I can't take another second. But other of you it does make financial sense. Maybe they could get more people there. Maybe they could turn it into and maybe they turn one of the best stadiums in MLS for one club to two clubs.
Yeah.
I don't know. All you got to do is change the seats blue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's up, DPG? Who do you think is gonna win MLS?
What were the betting? What was the bets that someone they were saying that Seattle was is a contender to win MLS this year?
I'd have to take a look at the old Belarus. I'll take a quick peeky behind the
Maybe
curtain
LAFC
here.
repeat.
I don't really, I think that's like the money's there, but it doesn't make sense to bet on them. They're probably going to be the favorite, and they probably won't repeat.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just going to be too hard. I saw somebody saying that there's going to be like up to 60 games for some of these clubs.
Yeah, that's true. If you're competing obviously you're competing in the regular season, then you're competing in US Open Cup, then you're competing in the new MLS versus Mexico League, and then you're competing, if you're one of those few, you might be competing in the CONCACAF Champions League. So, yeah, you have a lot of games ahead of you.
So, I got the odds for MLS right here. LAFC top of the charts with plus 400, which is decent. Philadelphia Union right behind them with plus 600. I don't see them doing it. They do have they do have a good team, but I just feel like last year's going to be too much. We'll probably see somebody new. New York City's 800, Nashville's 4th and 900, and Austin is 5th with 900. So that's the top 5. LAFC, the Union, NYCFC, Nashville, and Austin.
Yeah, I mean, those are pretty much your usual suspects.
Austin's kind of new. Nashville's been hanging in there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has. Thinking about the Fire. The Fire are a weird organization. While everybody is like shopping around, there's rumors going around in January. And everybody's signing players. The Fire just decided to just do it in February, close to March. Pretty much skipping preseason. Now all of a sudden we have all sorts of rumors. And on top of that, now you have the Fire going after everybody that pretty much is on the transfer list or is out of whack in their current club.
Right.
Which is kind of funny. Then you have people like Neo Tokyo that get overly excited when someone mentions the word vegan. But that's besides the point.
I'm going to put a couple bucks for Nashville, Cincinnati, and Toronto.
That's a fair. I would say this. Going back to the Fire, because I don't care about anybody else. Everybody else to me is just they're just a target.
Mm-hmm.
Right. To me, the Fire right now, I kind of go back to that meme that Jiggly made, where you're thinking that all we need is a couple of more pieces and we're good, and then it's like, no, we just suck. I was beginning a sentence like that, but nah, I'm good.
No, you could say it. Whatever you got to say.
No, I'm just gonna say this is going to be the season that they're gonna fire Ezra. Somehow, Heights is gonna keep his job to the end of the season. They're probably going to fire him in September and October. And then they're going to hire some rando to be the new GM.
I missed it. Does Ezra survive that scenario?
There's no way.
No.
No, of course not. He's the first sacrificial lamb.
Do you think Ezra's the first to go before Georg Heiss?
Oh, yeah. Most certainly.
I don't think Georg Heitz gets fired. I think he gets to pick another coach.
I mean, you're probably right.
He brought in 30 plus million.
That's the thing. Like, why would you bring him back this year if you weren't going to just stick with it? So we're stuck, bro.
I hate it. We hate it, but.
By the way, hello, fellas. How you
Hello.
doing?
Hey,
welcome to the stream.
I was gonna say this. There's a rumor going around that for opening day, the Fire haven't really sold a lot of tickets besides season ticket holders and a couple of regulars. And I think someone mentioned the figure being around 7 to 8,000 tickets. And they're kind of desperate when they're reaching out saying, "Hey, bring a friend for $15 a ticket," or "Hey, here's a BOGO offer. Buy one ticket, get the other one for $10."
Man, I need that kind of shit because I'm on the grind, but it's not a good look. It's not a good look at all. You know what I mean?
It's not. An opening day is probably going to be, if you have 15,000 people show up on opening day, I guarantee that at least a couple of thousand of those people have free tickets.
Almost certainly. If they even show, bro, like, trust me, it needs to be good weather for a good turnout.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, clubs like St. Louis FC are sold out.
Exactly. Like, if it's freezing balls in Chicago, they're not going to do it. They're just gonna we're gonna go to a half empty, well, actually a quarter full, if that, or even less, stadium, at Soldier Field, and we're probably gonna watch a mediocre 0-0 tie.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Who we playing the first week?
New York City FC.
They're gonna be bad this year. So
yeah, New York's gonna be bad. Yeah.
This is the year to bite one off of them, but I don't know, man. This just it's so terrible. I don't want to be toxic, and like I found myself just being toxic on the internet for like the last month. There's nothing to be happy about or excited about.
Let's be a little fire and ice, because I find myself being a little toxic about it too, but also at the same time I'm like, we're still at the place where like there's still hope. There is the record is still 0-0-0. We still are technically in first place, not last place yet. There's a lot to play for with this season, but already it's like, I'm already veering towards the negative like you guys. But when I pointed this out on Twitter, and somebody like thought I was like Men in Red. Somebody said I said St. Louis is selling out their freaking stadium. Meanwhile, Chicago can't even draw. And somebody comes out on Twitter and is like, "Oh, it's not even the same situation." And I'm like, I know it's not the same situation, but they're both MLS situations, and the situation is stark in Chicago.
It is, and I mean, and the MLS playoff system now. Oh man, don't even get me started on that. Now
I brought that up. Do you guys like that?
So gross. No, it's so gross. I hate it.
They brought it back. They brought it back to 1996, and on top of that, now you have 9 teams that go to the playoffs per each conference. So
listen, I'm less mad about the amount of teams. I just want to keep it a single elimination, because like once it starts getting best of 3, like it's like, why did we even have a season?
Why do we even go to the first game?
Imagine how brutal that's gonna be for those teams that have to play 3 games, back to back.
Somebody brought up LAFC, and like, let's pretend they go back to the final. They have like 57 games this season between like CCL and the league and the Open Cup and whatever
the Mexicans
we're doing with Liga MX. Yeah,
dude, the Fire are so worthless that they don't even have a jersey sponsor. Mentioning that Fire still don't have one.
We got a billionaire owner. What do we need more money for?
All you need to know about the Fire is
that is true.
That nobody thinks it's worth a dime or a dollar or whatever the price is that the Chicago Fire are offering to put their name on the Chicago Fire's jersey.
If the Fire really wanted a sponsor, right? If they really were desperate to put somebody's name on that front part of the jersey, Mansueto could have easily just put Morningstar on there, just to have something under.
Today I heard the devastating news that he owns some investment firm named Morningstar. I thought he was the one who made all the vegan stuff.
No, man.
No, the investment.
Nobody wants that nasty stuff, man. Get out of here.
I was today years old when I found that out.
I'm actually so yeah, that just cracked me up a little bit because I'm like, what are you talking about? Morningstar making food, you know?
Oh, did you see that today?
Yeah, I even had to like Google it. I'm like, man, are they a conglomerate or something? Do they own something else too? But no, I don't know. I mean, this season is gonna be one of those seasons where we're pretty much gonna scrap wins.
No, didn't it feel like this is last season all over again? This is two seasons all over again. This is 3 seasons all over again.
With a much weaker squad. You know, we lost Duran, we lost Gaga.
Our 2 best players beyond Chico's.
I'm Team Brady. I think that kid's gonna develop too.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to develop, but I don't want to throw him to the Lions right away.
No, that's the only way to do it with keepers.
Guys, the situation's so bad that Archduke was watching the Fire team profile yesterday on the MLS Season Pass, available for $79.99 and $99.99 on Apple TV. $79.99 if you're a subscriber, $99 a la carte. But said that all they talked about was the Fire of the past. There's nothing of anything recent. So I mean, beyond Schweinsteiger.
Don't forget, if you have T-Mobile, MLS Pass is free up until March 14th.
Great shout. Look into that if you have T-Mobile as your carrier.
That's the only way I'm seeing games this season. Thank you, T-Mobile. And thank you, whoever in the chat told me that.
You know what? T-Mobile actually does this stuff. Like, they do it with MLB. Because I used to wait every year for the MLB Pass to drop. And I used to, like, sign up for it. Even though I may not watch much baseball, but it's nice to have.
Well, can you watch the Cubs on that or no?
Nope.
The marquee.
X is blacked out.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Dude, here's the thing. I still need to get laid in life, so I can't shave my head or my beard or whatever. But we got to do something big if Shabilko comes and just like actually does something like 20 goals. Like I so badly want to sound like an idiot and Shabilko scored 30 or 20 goals, but.
I mean, I would like that for that to happen because if he scores 30 goals, and I mean, who else is in our striker list besides Shabilko?
No.
Who else is on that list besides Shabilko? Well, Victor
BRZRKR. Who plays for Fire too?
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Shabilko. You have this Haile Selassie guy who they brought in. He's like a center forward left winger.
Watch him be the breakout star.
BRZRKR is still there. We have some guy named Torres.
Oh, the guy that came back from injury? Came back from surgery?
Dude, they don't even have Torres starting. But he strikes me as such a bum on this roster. He's a DP and he's under 66. Meanwhile, LAFC has every single person on their roster is over 70 rated. Not that FIFA is like the be end all of ratings and for what a player is, but it's a good indicator. And the fact that Torres is nowhere near 70 shows you what they think about him on the international scale.
Well, you got to keep in mind that Gutierrez kind of pretty much kicked him off the lineup for a while.
And the fact that LAFC is sporting a whole team of way better than Torres is who are not DPs. That's the recruitment issues.
How do we not have Latif Blessing or Acosta or
Julian Gressel
for that matter? You know,
Julian Gressel was available.
Yeah, it's like Heights sits on his fucking hands and just is hoping that somebody gives him a call.
I will say though, like I said this earlier today, I feel like Heights is way less rage-inducing than Nelson Rodriguez because Nelson, the worst thing he would do is he refused to sign guys in the middle of the season. And so it was just like once we were off to a bad start, it was like there quite literally was nothing to look forward to.
I put them equally. I put him and Heights and Nelson equally. And hear me out. Obviously everybody has a rage against Nelson for what the BS that he did. But Heights has the whole stupidity game going where he's just not doing anything to a point that people are literally screaming on Twitter for him to do something. And it's like he's like how can I put it?
No,
he's
say
almost
just
like the Homer
unfriendly.
Simpson. He's almost like the Homer Simpson working in the power plant.
Like just that, and meanwhile you're Frank Grimes.
You know,
Is
yeah,
that what's
exactly.
happening? Like we're Frank Grimes in this situation where like we're looking at Homer Simpson and get all this luck. We work our butts off to try just to get somewhere. Meanwhile, he's got like a house, a fancy house, a beautiful wife, beautiful, wonderful children, a car.
Exactly. Like
He's lobster for dinner.
like the guy will trip over a money bag type of deal. You know, it's just that's whatever Nelson did, I get it. You know, he pissed off a lot of supporters, which is fine. I mean, me personally, I mean, I haven't really, followed these supporter groups since for the past 10 years because it's become pretty toxic and very divided. And come on, if you look at the supporter groups, I don't think we have any that number more than 5 people. So
well, I mean, our fan base is growing up, right? Like when you're in your 20s, I'm ready to, headbutt somebody and fucking shotgun a beer and whatever and chant with somebody. But right now, like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna chill. I don't want to see the game. So our fan base is growing up because we've sucked for so long. We're not getting an influx of any young Chicagoans.
It's like this. It's like when I first became my first year as a season ticket holder. Now I remember this. You walked in that parking lot in Bridgeview, and you had all these supporter groups. And if you walk near their table, they'll ask you, "Hey, do you want to take a shot?
Right.
Hey, they'll even trade scarves with you. Like you could tell, like it was a very more active environment."
James, what are you doing, bro?
I was kicking that like button. Kick that like button, everybody. Thanks for everybody hanging out live or watching after the fact and enjoying the conversation between DPG, FC Neo Tokyo, and Spitfire.
It's like the fan base now are the old school 98 fans that are trying to stay relevant. That somehow think that they should have a better saying than the newer fans.
Right, a place at the table, like, and that's the Chicago Fire in a nutshell. The whole shebang. I look at this club like, why are we not in a similar position to Toronto? Meanwhile, we look at the success of clubs like Cincinnati, Minnesota, even, and to another degree, of course, Nashville. Look at these 3 later entries to the club, to the MLS club, and FC Austin. These guys are hitting the ground running. Charlotte's not, but that's another story.
We talk about how jealous I am of Seattle, but like that's just because that's like been since 2010. Like, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. All these teams, like, they might have a few crappy seasons, but they're at least getting something right away to like hold on to.
Well,
Like,
those teams. Well, the thing about those teams is that if they're having a couple of crappy seasons, they try to change things right away. They tear down the current plan and start from scratch.
Well, the Fire do that too.
The Fire only do that once it becomes evident that nothing's going to change.
I feel like the Fire do that too, but they just keep making the wrong plan time after time after time. They just keep giving the wrong guy the reins time after time. And like this rocket ship used to be going up, and like they just keep giving it to a guy who just is burying it further and further and further. They've yet to find the right guy who's like, okay, there's no way I could get this rocket ship out. I either got to blast through here and get on the other side to China, or I got to change something because it's not working.
It's not. It's kind of funny, man. I would almost rather, because we're spending the money. It's like, I'm not mad about that. Spending it. I don't care. Like, that's awesome. But like, we're giving it to Gaston Jimenez. You know what I mean? Like,
and Jairo Torres. Gaston Jimenez and Jairo Torres. Those are indications of the issue. Like, those are the guys that the Chicago Fire are spending big money and missing on. Meanwhile, you have teams like LAFC who are new to the league, come in here, home run, home run, home run, home run, triple, double, triple, home run, home run. Chicago Fire's like, strike out. Hey, I did foul that ball off. You saw that at bat, right?
You know what? and I think what we're seeing currently with the Fire right now is pretty much evident of how their scouting department works. Because chances are teams like Seattle, teams like New York City FC, teams like LAFC, they probably have a very comprehensive scouting department. They will talk to the head coach. They will try to say, hey, what do you need? What is your game plan? What tactic are you running? Oh, you're running that? How do you feel about these players? Who do you think we should get? How do you feel about that price tag? Oh, we should just get this guy. But when you look at Ezra and you look at the Fire front office, and you're seeing it now play out, is that they're literally trying to talk to anybody that might be slightly interested in joining the team.
You could smell the desperation.
Exactly.
Well, who's the rumor that jerk off today from what's the team that Baruch played for?
I know. The Israeli team.
Every Tom, Dick, and Sally that has like a transfer tag on them, they're the Chicago Fire in. They were in for Huang Wo or whatever it was. Like, it's just like anybody with like for sale signs, Chicago Fire. That's how Georg Heitz is running this organization, by the seat of his pants, it seems, on one regard. But then in another regard, he finds those gems like John Duran, which was a gem. Jairo Torres, not a gem.
Okay,
though.
hold on. Everybody keeps talking about Duran, but can I make a point here, which is we didn't do anything last year. We were terrible, and we sold him. Like, if you're running a sports team as a rich person to make a profit,
right,
you've already lost. This isn't a profit-making situation unless you're talking merchandise.
No, and Chicago Fire are nowhere near their valuation. Whatever the heck Joe Mansueto bought him for, I wouldn't have bought him for half of that. Like, it was just like overpaid.
He paid $400 million for the whole team.
Wouldn't pay half that.
He actually paid $200 million when he became partner owners with Andy, and then he bought him off completely like a year or two later.
Didn't he buy out the contract though for Bridgeview too? How much was that?
That was like 60-70 million.
But he did this though, and this is what brought me in with Joe Mansueto. He said he came in like John Hammond, like Jurassic Park, like he meant so well.
Right.
It's like spare no expense. And then we saw what spare no expense. They made some horrible rebrand, and they stamped it, and they put it on everything, and they never stopped to ask why. Why are they doing this? They're like, what can we do? What can we do?
They were so concerned about if they could. They didn't think about if they should.
It's like ripped out of the Jurassic Park scene for scene, line by line.
It's like, it's true. It's, and the thing about it is that, when you have a guy like Heitz that hasn't really done much the past couple of seasons, the whole thing about Duran, even before I think the Fire signed him, he was already kind of slated to be a good player.
That's good. They found him, but like, had we had anything that resembled a team, we could have capitalized on his one season, then made money, and then got another guy.
We can't like really. Can we really like commend them for being able to read an article that says, "Hey, these are the 60 best kids out there," and the Fire are like, "Oh, that one's just cheap enough that we might be able to afford getting him right now if we strike soon enough." And they did the financial sense, and bam!
Make sure he writes his name on that paper. Like, I'll give them credit for that, but they can't build a team. They can hit on one guy out of 100.
You said it. They can't build a team. Sure, they can sign a player or two, but if you can't build a team in MLS, what do the fans have to root for? I have more to root for John Duran and his success over an EPL than I have for the Chicago Fire this season to have a chance at anything.
You have to understand that if you want to build a team, the head coach and your GM have to be in sync with what they want to get and what are the expectations.
And are they in sync?
Nope.
Well, hold on right here. Like, I want clip this for a TikTok, bro. Listen, here's the question. Does Gaga Slanina start for an EPL, or does I'll even say top 5? Does Gaga Slanina start for a top 5 team or top 5 league before the Fire make the playoffs next? Like, what do you think's going to happen? The Fire make the playoffs, or Gaga is a starting keeper at a top 5 league?
Well, I think now with 9 open playoff spots, I think it's
They're gifting the Fire a spot.
Yeah, I think we'll make.
If we're gonna finish 15th, like all of the prognostications out there is that we're not even gonna sniff that 9th place.
Right. Yeah, everybody's got us pegged for 12th, 14th, 15th. I actually don't think the Fire are going to be that bad. I think that we have quite a bit of turnover in some key positions, but there's also some old heads staying on. You got to expect more growth from Navarro in the midfield. I expect Mueller to be as good as ever. I expect Mueller to be Mueller. I expect Shaqiri to be Shaqiri and maybe even more dedicated and focused on the club this season, with no longer having a World Cup looming up before him and really only club honors left for him to gain. I see Brian Gutierrez with a lot to want to prove, and to keep Jairo Torres, a DP, out of the lineup. Like, he's motivated. Prisha Bilko, we'll see.
Yeah, we got problems. That's where right there is where your argument starts falling off the cliff.
Turan, you can see Turan taking a step forward next to Chicos. Navarro, Navarro is where rubber meets the road for Navarro over on that left wing, Miguel. Because if he does not hit the ground this season running, it's like, how much longer do we got to wait on this guy? Unless it's the Marcus Rashford effect, guys. Unless it's the Marcus Rashford effect, where you just keep playing him and eventually he's like freaking the best in the world.
Well, you got to keep in mind that you have to get competition for that side for him to even try to improve. Because right now he's a guaranteed starter. He's going to start. And anybody else that starts for that role is not a full left back. And that's the thing, is there's no competition on that side. On the right side, you have the French guy, Souquet.
Yeah, but he can play either side. I mean, come on, man.
He could play either side, but Souquet is a right back. Because who else behind Souquet? Who's available?
That's the kid, put Tehran? Right? There's a kid back there.
Tehran.
They have that other. They have a young kid. Next to, I don't see him on here, Burks. They like that Burks kid who they signed from England. They kind of sniped him from an English team, saying, hey, you're more likely to come on and get starting time here.
They didn't snipe him from an English team. The English team, he went on trial. He went on a trial. They kind of liked him. They offered him a reserve contract. And obviously, he was going to get more money here in the Fire.
Yeah, you play first division minutes if it's versus a reserve contract. I don't care where. Remember, Lee Win was the big man on campus in the Vietnam League for quite some time.
Lee Win. Oh, dude, remember when he dominated? He was a great player in MLS.
Yeah, and everybody thought he was done. Like, and he came to MLS and had like 6 really good seasons. I
thought so, yeah. But Chicago Fire, they're built similarly to the way that Dallas was built last year, except our Jesus Ferreira is gone because that was Duran.
Yeah.
And our goalkeeper is also gone. I don't know who their goalkeeper is, but he was the other best player on our team.
I don't know. Maybe it's just cognitive dissonance, but like, I'm just pretending like Brady's going to be literally just as good as Gaga.
I think I think he won't be. I think Gaga will be the best Chicago Fire export for the next 4 to 5 years. I don't think Brady will reach.
You think he'll be better than Sean John?
Sean John is
going to carry Toronto.
No, Chris Brady will exceed Sean Johnson.
Say what?
Chris Brady will.
We're putting a lot of stock in Chris Brady.
Yes.
And the thing about it is that he's only played 1 game with the first team. Compare that to Gaga. Now, Gaga was our starter last year, but if you wind the clock to the previous season, Gaga actually started the last 10 games once we knew that we were not going to make the playoffs. At least
yeah, that's what we should have made Gaga go to Chelsea as soon as we sold him and played Brady.
And the thing, well, and then that's the thing is that we're kind of putting Brady in a position where he kind of has to. We're pretty much throwing him to the wolves right away, which, you know, it's not great. It's not the best thing for a young goalkeeper, especially one that you're hoping could reach.
What I see you, James. What has FIFA got Brady versus Slanina?
I'm looking for Slanina. That's what I'm saying. I can't find him. I'm gonna look him. He's not on Chelsea.
He's got a couple. They got a couple hundred players.
They have a couple hundred players, exactly.
Yeah, with the amount of money that they've been spending. Oof.
Oh, I can't wait to see Pulisic in Newcastle next year. Ooh.
But I mean, I don't know.
He's not in. Slanina's not in FIFA at the moment.
Probably gonna come in an update.
Probably, yeah.
Weird.
I honestly think Shaboko. Let's be honest, he's not the guy that we all thought he was gonna be.
No, he did not. He looks like a 61 in FIFA terms. Like if they're putting him at a 69, I'm like, he's worse than Jairo Torres, dude. No way.
And the thing,
I think he's only good for 5 goals, dude. How many did he get last year? Well,
5 goals. I think 4 or 5 goals.
He can't even hit Robert Barrich numbers, guys. Like that's the minimum. Like that's the bare minimum.
Like, the thing is,
Jesus. We called him Robert Barrich 2.0. He's not even Robert Barrich point half his ass.
And the thing about it is, it pisses me off because Shaboko was trying to act like he was a Brazilian player. Like he tried to take on players one-on-one, and he kept getting treated constantly. Like, dude, you're not gonna be. You're like 6'7". You're not gonna get away with trying to be like a Brazilian player.
Well,
right?
he runs like he doesn't, like he's like an action figure that doesn't articulate at the waist. Like he just, like.
And the thing about it is, it cracks me up because he was trying so hard to be like that one-on-one striker that could get away and score. But this team doesn't need a guy like that, and especially a guy that's trying to be like that. You really just need a guy that can stick his foot in any cross and put the ball in the net.
Oh, man. Who's that? There's a guy just like that. He played for Atlanta, and I think he went to Miami. Man, who was that? Oh, yeah, Joseph
And he
Martinez.
wasn't. And the thing about it is, like, this is why I'm like, Nikolic was like that guy. Like, Nikolic didn't do the whole one-on-one, I'm going to take on 3 defenders at once. No, he was just the guy that would just wait by the line, wait for that cross, shoot, and that's it. Or stick his foot out and divert the ball into the net.
God, Nikolic just fell off, man.
Dude fell off a mountain like he got thrown off by an eagle.
I think this team let him down.
Because he was a goat.
Well, of course this team let him down. This team has ruined careers. Brandon Vincent does fucking accounting instead of play a professional sport.
At MLS level.
And the crazy thing about Brandon Vincent is that he actually had 1 cap with the U.S. men's national team before, like, when he got drafted by the Fire. Like, that's how high they had him, in terms of giving him his first cap. And he did good, but
he was good, man.
And this team ruined him. I think Pano ruined them. And on that note, I'll be right back.
All right, much love, DPG.
Much love, DPG, dude. Man, I always love when you guys stop by. Making I'm gonna run a simulation here while in the background and just see who wins MLS.
Okay, I love it. I was curious. I was actually going to ask if anybody had run a football manager simulation yet.
I have so it's FIFA 23 that will be run here, but I have a Ronaldo save with Wrexham, and it's the best.
Introduce your new manager.
Jesse Marsh has returned to Chicago. Can you believe it? Ezra Hendrickson out. In comes Jesse Marsh. He said no to the U.S. men's national team. He said, no, I have unfinished business in Chicago.
Oh, my God. I would love every second of that.
His return. There's no transfers, so we're just going to run it right to the end of the season. That's it. Boom. That's just...
Yeah, we didn't sign anybody.
There's no...
So I got to ask you, James, since DPG is out here, And you and I enjoy some of the chuckle-headed YouTube-ness. You ever had like you been to a Mariano's lately?
Mm-mm.
They got hella prime. I'm drinking one right now.
Oh,
I
all
don't know if
those
you can see
Prime
that.
with those YouTubers.
Yeah, with KSI and
I can't
what are they
endorse
called?
that product as I've never tried it, nor am I interested in trying it. Maybe if somebody offered it to me and said, "Hey, this is as good as the stuff you like," I'll be like, "Okay." I personally like what Casper Przybyłko wrecked in one of those Chicago Fire docs. He talked about body armor water, and ever since I tried those, I just really like those. You water them down a little bit because they have a lot of sugar sometimes, but it's real sugar, which is better than the fake sugar.
For sure. No, I've been trying these, dude. Like I tried Tropical Punch, which was okay, and then they have like a bomb pop flavor, which was pretty dope. And I'm having orange right now. It's not amazing. So, you know, it is what it is, man. It's just Gatorade, right? It's tasty Gatorade. So, it's whatever. So, what would your product be? When this channel blows up, what are you gonna start selling?
I want it to be useful. I want it, but also like, here's the problem. Like, everybody has a lot of shit in their house, right? Like, who needs more shit in their house? Who needs just like another spot to like, it's like, I gotta find a spot to put this. So it's like, I think digital. I think like, what can I say? So that's my immediate thought. Like, that's more
Okay.
valuable to me because now I don't have to find space for it. Now I just gotta find digital space for it. I could save that on my hard drive, save it on my Gmail. I can save that shit anywhere, keep it wherever. So that's my initial thought about it as far as that was something digital, but I don't know
You
what.
took that another direction, man. I thought you were building this up to like a 1-800-junk type of business. I would love to do that, dude. I totally watch like ladies on YouTube cleaning their house.
Dude, I hype
And, like-
people up. You know me. I can hype people up, and I could if you need to be sold on something, you could pay me to sell you on it.
There you go.
Like I will
love
sell
it,
you
dude.
on more substitutions in soccer. I will sell you.
No. Let's
I
go
will
back
s-
down to 3.
I will sell you on the MLS penalty kick. I will.
Okay, that one I'm starting to come around on.
I'm telling you. Fuck, who cares? It's MLS is a joke as it is. Who cares?
Yeah, you don't know what you got till
Embrace
it's gone, right?
the XFL-ness of the MLS, and you already have something better than the XFL. I guarantee it.
Oh man. So I heard you doing previews, team previews. How deep did you get?
I made it to Philadelphia Union or to the Orlando before I ran this. After if you guys hop off, I'll go back to it and finish it off and probably clip it together or something.
That's smart. Listen to you, man. You just
YouTube's
doing the damn thing, right?
But hey, I gotta say, we got a lot of people watching live with us right now. It's kind of amazing. Greatly appreciate all you guys hanging out, kicking it with us here live. It's been fire.
Everybody's excited about the season, man. I find myself pretty jacked about this LA game, coming up. Well, I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday.
Let's see. So March 4th for the Chicago Fire, but the MLS kicks off at find out.
I think
New York City
I don't know,
FC versus Nashville at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday.
Ooh, dude, I can't wait. I really thought I was gonna have to sell feet pics or something because I wasn't gonna have MLS. I wasn't gonna have Apple Plus or whatever. But man, oh man, T-Mobile came through for your boy.
All right, I have news. We
Uh-oh, what
have
happened?
let's find out how the MLS has transpired before playoffs. We're gonna get a look at the old standings. Chicago Fire did not do well. Ooh.
Hold on, I don't see him yet. I can't wait.
I don't think we're gonna like this. Okay. So let's check out the Eastern Conference first. Oh, you're gonna puke. You're gonna puke. All right, so Philadelphia takes the conference. Columbus Crew right behind them. Red Bulls, New England, Orlando City, Atlanta, New York City all make the playoffs in this system in FIFA right now. In the new system, DC United and Toronto
What did I say? Toronto was coming back, baby.
would round off the playoff teams for the Eastern Conference 9. The next few that did not make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference would be CF Montreal, FC Cincinnati, which was one of my teams to pick, Inter Miami, Charlotte FC, Charlotte's Web, and Chicago Fire FC in last place.
Well, that tends to make me feel like this is pretty accurate. But I would say, if I was a betting man, I would put Inter Miami in the playoffs and DC out of the playoffs. And same thing with who was the other one that you said? Cincinnati and NYCFC. I would swap out.
I love your swaps. Hey, no, you nailed it. New York City out, DC out, and in FC Cincinnati, and you're saying Inter Miami in? Yeah.
He's gonna have a big year.
I'll
I
buy.
think it's gonna look good.
Dude, I think you nailed this. Let's write this down, boys and girls, because I think Toke just nailed this. Philadelphia first, Columbus, Red Bulls, New England, Orlando, Atlanta. Then you have either Cincinnati or Inter Miami. Then Inter Miami or Cincinnati. Then Toronto.
You really don't think the Fire are going to finish last, do you?
I don't think they're going to finish last. I think they'll be 12th or 11th, 10th. Maybe even they might even just scrape into the playoffs because these guys have been coming in 12th, 11th, 12th, 11th. It's just like that's where they've been. You got to imagine that Ezra's plan, like maybe it'll work. Maybe we'll see something click next year, but I don't know where because Duran's what was clicking. Guti was clicking with Duran. Like that's gone.
I don't have high hopes at all, bro.
But Guti and Shaqiri are here, and you know what? A more dedicated, focused Shaqiri, he might be able to turn heads because he outproduced Gareth Bale when it came to points wise.
I heard you make that point earlier, and I have a question about that. Like, do you think Shaqiri is now more motivated or less? I feel like he's going to be way less motivated.
That's a great question. That's a hard question, man.
Do you feel like the lack of distraction is going to foster some better play? Although he did not play bad last year, he's not the one to bitch about.
He was not the one to bitch about on this team when he played, when he was dedicated. And the other thing is he was treating last season and the Chicago Fire as like, hey, keep me healthy, keep me in form so I can go dominate the World Cup. And then I will come back and I will reward you because you guys took care of me. I think Shaqiri is that type of guy. I think Shaqiri is the type of guy that takes care of his friends. And I kind of think he's got something a little bit to prove this season because of how much he did last year. And despite all that, got the stick for it in some ways. I think Shaqiri's got something to prove. I think we're getting a motivated Shaqiri, and I'm not saying that out of like desire to say it. All I could read is the tea leaves, Toke, right?
Well, what happens if he's so motivated that he's like, oh no, I'm playing well, get me the hell out of here, I'm going back to a top
he
5
could
league.
That's the thing. Shaqiri could get to a point where he's playing so well, the team's playing so poorly, he could be like, yeah, get me out of here mid-season.
Yeah,
I can see that happening.
It's hard.
But the thing is, with that, I'm not questioning his work ethic for the club. I think what we saw last year is something we all were prepared to see, but all still, when we saw it, we were like, oh no, does it mean something else? We were prepared to see Shaqiri pull up in the first 24 minutes of a match and be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out of here today. I gotta take care. We all prepared for that.
Yeah,
but when it happened, all of our dicks shriveled up into our gonads. Our gonads shriveled up inside us, and we weren't prepared for it. We thought we were, but that's why I'm saying, like, I think we're gonna get a little different Shaqiri this season because he's not having to save himself for anything. He's out to play the game he loves and to try and win a last trophy that he could look on the mantle and be like, "Fuck yeah."
I hope you're right, brother. I hope you're right. I really do, man.
Dude, Shaqiri's the type of the guy, he's going to be, he that sits in his study. He's got a couple awesome trophies around him. He's got a Champions League trophy sitting there. And you better believe.
Whoa, who did he win the Champions League with?
I thought he won a Champions League trophy with somebody. Bayern. Bayern Munich.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like this dude likes accolades. This dude likes winning. And you better believe at the end of his career, when he's in his study, looking around, smoking his cigar, looking at his stuff, he'll turn around to that Chicago Fire MLS war and be like, fuck yeah. He's gonna look at it and be like, I was the
is complete.
he's gonna look at that and he's gonna be like, I came over to MLS at 31, 32 years old, and I was still amongst the best motherfuckers. So good that we won. Like I think that when I look at Shaqiri's got that dog in him, guys. Shaqiri's got that dog in him. He doesn't have this. When Shaqiri's got this dog in him, I don't think people fucking get. I get it. I see it.
I mean, he is good. He came and
no,
for
it's
really
not
crappy
good. Toke, it's not just good. It's dog. DAWG. Like he's got some dog in him, as Pat McAfee would love to say. Because dude, what I mean by that dog, that's the guy that, not to mention he's got the muscles to do it. He's got the mental acumen to do it. He's got the training and the tacticalness to do it. But he's got that heart. That heart has that extra gear that you never develop. Not you, but you never developed. The general person never developed. And Shaqiri has that. And that's what's always made him Shaqiri. We've seen that wherever he's gone. That's why he stood out in places where it's like clear he's the best player. And it's not even that he gives a damn. It's just that he works hard. He works hard when he's committed. He works hard, and when he knows he can't work hard, he's like, "Oh, fuck this." He's also learned the parameters through a lengthy career of his body. He's learned the parameters and the limits of his body, and I think he's learned like, hey, in the past I've pushed it too far here, and because I fucking care and I want it, but if I take it easy for 2 weeks, I could come back and be basically 98, 99%, and we'll get back to I think he's grown wiser and smarter, and that's what we're getting in Shaqiri, and I think we could get another 2 or 3. I'm talking myself into this right now, by the way, with this argument.
You're selling it.
But I think that we could get another 2 years out of Shaqiri, minimum of dominance in MLS. Dominance. Because look at Pipa Higuain, guys. Look at some of the past players. I mean, like, yes, we're in MLS 4.0, and I got to let you retort, but that's where we're at. And Shaqiri is better than a lot of that other past stuff.
Oh, most certainly. He's not a Pirlo. Like, we've got at the very least 2 more years of good Shaqiri, as long as some effort around him is made to be better. But hold on. My main point that I wanted to say is that there has been hella people in this chat, like in this watching this stream. Hit the like button for your boy James.
Greatly appreciate it for all of us, for DPG and for Toke, coming here talking soccer with us. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out here.
Oh yeah, man, and good people too. Actually, I've been streaming on Friday. Quick plug, streaming on Fridays. But no, in all seriousness, James came by, and who came by last Friday was Connor.
Ah, that's sick.
I hadn't talked to him since forever, man. So
I saw you were streaming, but I was out and about, unable to clock in, so I was like, I wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, with the weather the way it is, man, Friday nights have been hibernation.
We went on a ski trip, so I didn't, and it, dude, had a fucking ball time. Had a ball. Where'd you
go? Where'd you go?
We went up to. I don't want to blow up our spot.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
it's like a fishing. It's like a fishing hole, but it's one of the best places in the Midwest. And if you do some research, I'm sure you'll be able to narrow it down. It's one of the best places in the Midwest, and I'm used to skiing the most dangerous stuff out west.
You into skiing, huh?
I've been trained by the parents. Throughout our lives, my dad and my parents, we always would take us skiing and to trips. Sometimes the Cascade Mountain, Devil's Head, Wilmot, Up in let's see, over in Michigan, the Boyne Mountain, Boyne Highlands, and then once we got kind of up to snuff, started taking us out west. To Colorado. These are these would be our vacations. Like, we wouldn't typically go to the beaches or anything. We'd go for a ski trip as a family. And man, it was awesome. I'd hike to the scariest places on them. I trained with a teacher because I was the firstborn, so for a long time, basically, because so I was training with like the expert teachers when I was really young, because my parents still didn't want to ski with me, and I was also better than them.
There you go.
I was so much better than them younger that like I was like, hey, let's go on the scary, awesome places that are the fastest in the mountain. They're like, we like skiing, but like not that much. Like we're not there yet.
So you and your girl ski? Was this the honeymoon?
No, that's a different plan. That's a different plan.
Okay.
But it was me and it was a boys trip, and I gotta say it was one of the best ski trips ever. I went finally, like, usually sometimes you'll go with people that aren't your level, and so I'll become the teacher, and it becomes a different experience. It's just as enjoyable, just as much fun. But oh man, when you go with people that like are your level, we're down the mountain, we're back on the lift, we're down the mountain, we're back on the lift, and we're hitting shit, we're ripping shit, we're going through stuff. We have a crash, like, I had one spot where like, oh man, I was going through the trees, and the trees are dangerous this weekend because it was icy as fuck. So it was like, tread carefully, but trees are my fucking, I love that shit, dude. So I'm zooming through trees, and I mean zooming on my 172s that are bigger than me. Are they bigger than me? I don't know, but I ski big. But and all of a sudden I come up to this big hill, so I'm like, oh, I need speed to get over this hill. So I'm like, bam, and I have no fear. I mean, I have a respectful understanding of like, oh shit, I could, and if I get into a no shit moment, I have enough. I can figure it out. I hit this bump, and I go right over this like this, and there's nothing. It's the top of a jump, and there's nothing, and it's like a 5-foot fall. I go, oh shit! I scream out. I manage to land it. I find it. I find my groove. I crash. I don't crash out of it. I scream out of it. I ski out of it. I fly down, and all of a sudden, my buddy who's right behind me on the trail, he's respectful distance back to be safe. He heard me go, oh shit. He went over that same ridge. He's like, I wonder what he said oh shit about. He's on a snowboard. I'm on skis. And oh man, bam, ate it. But that was like our one big fall of the day. Okay. I fell in this and running up to the ski lift, but like just had one tumble, but it just
That's better than going down the hill.
Oh no, but I'm good going down the hill, yeah.
The only thing I know about skiing is if you French fry when you're supposed to pizza, you're gonna have a bad time.
Oh, dude, that's the thing. Get out of it. French fry is a great skill to have. You need to have that, but like I French fry in spaces where I'm going slow already, and I need to go slower. Typically, do that hockey stop. Bam, right? Do that rapid, dude, and to do that rapid decelerate. I love going down moguls, down double blacks, going into the scary places, hiking to the top of the mountain with my skis on my back, and to untouched powder, just like look down and be like, man.
I'm a huge fan of the untouched powder as well.
Dude, untouched. I know what you're talking about, but untouched powder, man, it is.
No, it's gotta be because there's no groove, nothing to get stuck in.
It's speed incarnate, and I my friend gave me this slopes app or something, and I was hitting 60, and that's just here, and I was like that didn't even get me the first day when I was clocking. And that's the thing. The funny thing is, like, I'm hitting 60 and I didn't even realize I'm hitting 60. Like, to me, this is normal. I'm like, but I'm in control. The thing is, it's control. It's your skis. It's togetherness, letting the skis, like, you could really fuck yourself up going 60 miles an hour and crashing. That's
how Sonny Bono died, dude. Like,
he did it into a tree, but in a place in Colorado that I've been to, it's I've been past the spot, and it's actually wild. Been past the spot a few times. And you pay respects for
You
sure,
pay your respects, you slow down
dude.
a touch.
And I didn't wear a helmet back then either. Holy shit! Now I wear a helmet. Oh boy, man.
God, dude, this shit's wild, in my
Dude,
opinion.
this
It's
shit's
like
the
that
best.
whitewater rafting. I'm good on that.
It's
as
like
well.
surfing, skateboarding, but those are more snowboard esque. I'm much better skier than I am snowboarder.
You stick to the skis.
I broke my leg snowboarding.
Woof. Woof.
Yeah, but I had high confidence. I was going down to Double Black Diamond in Colorado with the ski school. And the thing about snowboards and the thing about skis is with skis, you could go straight. And you got two things to kind of like decelerate. Like you just said, you could pizza. You got two things to kind of work with, and you're a lot more agile with like picking your direction. When you're on a snowboard, you're always curving. You're always on a curve. Your trajectory, no matter what, is always. So when you start going straight down the mountain, you is fucked. And that's the situation that old Spitting Fire found himself in. Just flying down, must have been going 80 to 100. I mean, I shit you not. And the funny story, my brother's on the chairlift. It's giant. It's Utah. It's Utah because we always get hurt in Utah. But we're in Utah, and my brother's like, oh, I see this guy in James's coat flying down the mountain on a snowboard, and man, did he crash. and like he went down half the mountain on this run. Like he crashed. It looked like he just started rolling, and then eventually he hit the ground and just started sliding down and stopped. And that's apparently what I did, because that was me. He was watching. It was me. He was watching. He didn't know it was me. He's like, it looked like a guy in James's coat who was on a snowboard. Jeffrey, my brother was younger at the time, so he wasn't positive. There was other people that had similar
He's
coats.
like, oh man, it must suck to be that guy.
And then he ran into me later. Yeah, and then it's like, oh yeah, my trip's done. My trip's done. I'm like laying half in the pool, one leg out because it's broken. Just like that's the rest of the trip. Just fucked.
Oh, brutal, dude.
Oh man, yeah, that was brutal. And also, you learn like, hey, save your crazy shit for the last few days.
And it's America, so you got to worry about what hospital you go to, and if you're gonna end up paying shit out of pocket.
By the way, I have horrible news. Jesse Marsh has been terminated by the Chicago Fire.
Whoa, I could understand. I mean, I think he lost. Oh, we didn't even see what the West did.
Woof. Yeah.
I want to see how the West finished.
Contract terminated. All right, I can get hired by Houston. Houston's still willing to take Jesse. So we'll see if I got
so that means Ben Olsen gets fired as well.
Well, Ben Olsen's out, so Jesse Marsh in, and let's
welcome to you all. Without further delay,
let me quickly see if we still got the old yep, we still got the calendar. Okay. Let's check out the West standings. And on the West, we have LAFC taking it down, followed by the Sounders, Austin FC, Portland Timbers, FC Dallas, LA Galaxy, the other lagging LA team, Whitecaps FC, and Julian Gressel making the playoffs. Could you imagine Minnesota making it by the hair of their by the chin of their chin, and Sporting Kansas City finally making a playoff appearance after like what feels like years. Nashville misses, San Jose, Colorado, Houston, and Real Salt Lake missing all.
See, that's what I think. I think the East is going to turn out to be like exactly what happens, other than the changes we said. But like, I think Nashville's in and Vancouver's out. I feel like San Jose is in and Minnesota's out.
Sporting, I can't see Sporting going anywhere.
You don't think? Isn't what's that kid's name? It's
Ronaldo didn't sign there, Tokyo.
No, he didn't. But like, who's the Mexican striker who was hurt literally week 1 and was out all season last season?
Oh, I know you're talking about Park City, Utah. By the way, I once skied there. Park City's awesome. I know you're talking about. Let me look up S.
How do you go skiing in Utah? I thought like fun wasn't allowed.
Dude, skiing in Utah was years ago, but man, Park City, great. Alta, great. Solitude, amazing. Really like Alta though. I think that'd be one of my more favorite places. But it's ski only, so you cannot snowboard there.
Weird.
It is weird. It's very weird. But they have gullies. They have these gullies that like you feel like you're in the Swiss Alps. You're like in the. I love trees. I love going into off slope. Off the grooved path trees, like dangerous spots, zooming through trees and into little gully paths and river path. And man, they've got everything in spades there. Alan Polito is who you're thinking of.
Aha! Thank you. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think ninth is perfect for them. But yeah, I do. I think Nashville and San Jose will make it.
All right, let's find out who's going to win. Right now, they have Austin FC versus Portland on the West, and Columbus Crew versus Orlando.
Ooh, I'm going with the Crew
in the
on
East.
that one.
I'm going Crew versus Austin, but I like Portland. I don't like Orlando being here. I can't believe it, but man,
yeah, Portland's another one I didn't think would make it.
I could see that more likely than Orlando, though. You know what I mean?
I would say Colorado has a better chance than Portland this year.
Wow, you heard it first from Toke.
Yeah, Colorado's due, man. They do something every so many years.
It got a lot of money invested, but also a very rich owner, but who doesn't like to spend.
Yeah, I was about to say, do they though?
Yeah.
Yo, James, hold on. What do you think of the kit, the fire kit?
Oh, the confetti kit?
Yeah.
It looks okay. I'm not in love.
Oh, I love it. I think it's like the best thing they've done in years.
All right, let's pull it up. I'll pull it up. I'm gonna go fire confetti kick.
I don't know. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I love the kit. I love it. I think that should be the home kit.
Let me go see. So this white. This should be the away kit. Like that's a great away kit.
Well, it is, but I'm saying like with the absence of a red kit.
All right, I'm gonna pull this up for chat. Hold on one second. I gotta pull this up for chat here. So there it is, kit for all. It's this confetti looking thing. I'm not in love with it. It's cool.
I really like it.
It's an idea. What I love about it is I love that to be our away jersey.
I mean, it's like think if we got a red jersey, like a red kit for at home, and this is our road jersey, and like, what if we kept this kind of aesthetic for a couple years?
Yes. You know what?
Forward,
you know what? Okay, you now you're talking. But so go red kit home and a light blue Chicago color flag type blue for away.
Yeah, something fun on away.
It's so white. It's like close to white, but it's also blue.
I'm sold. Plus, it doesn't have a sponsor on it. Like that's pretty rad. I don't know, man. I know. Like I think we talked about it before. I don't care if they make money. Like I hate the commercialization of everything. So a kit without a sponsor is a plus in my book.
All right, let's find out who's winning MLS here. I'll move it on. Oh, we got okay. So it's gonna. Oh my God, you're never gonna believe who made it. I
can't wait. Like I'm the stream is a little delayed, so where I'm watching it, I'm waiting.
Here are your MLS Final Cup finalists, everyone. Predicted for play for 2023. It says 2022, but this is for 2023. We're predicting Orlando City meets Portland Timbers. The most unlikely. Put your bets in now.
Well, that's the joy of the single elimination game. You're right. This will never happen with the best of three.
There's no way Portland Timbers versus Orlando actually ends up being it, but here we are. Here we are in this reality, Toke.
Well, we say this, but hold on. Wasn't last year the first time in like 6 or 7 years there wasn't a Cascadia team in the final or something like that?
And we always discount them.
Brutality, bro.
All
Brutality.
right, so let's run this.
Who wins? Yeah, who wins this?
Here we go. And our champions. You're not going to believe it was a team you didn't even see coming. It was a team you didn't even see coming, chat. Orlando City Soccer Club are your 2023 MLS Cup champions.
Gross. The cup is going to Florida.
How? How? Paul Tenorio would be stoked. He used to cover Orlando.
Florida man everywhere rejoices.
Florida men rejoice everywhere. Orlando is at it again. You know, like
boy.
if we wanted to put like top 10 places I'd want to go see an MLS game, Orlando's in that top 10. I'm not going to lie. I think that would be a fun place to go see a game. Warm. Gonna be warm generally, right? 2, depending on the time of day, could go to Disney World or our Universal Studios.
That
Hop
makes
in
sense.
for a couple rides.
Makes sense. I don't like to travel anywhere that doesn't have legal, But
What's going on with Florida?
I mean, what do you think was going? We could do a whole podcast on what is going on in Florida.
I mean, like, you imagine, like, that guy, that DeSantis guy, he's so full of freedom. You feel like you'd be like, here's the freedom to smoke weed, but like, that's a freedom that isn't allowed.
No, I think it's more like the freedom to work to exploit people.
It's on the ballot for 2024.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
That's not soon enough.
Will I get to go to Florida ever again?
Yeah, that's like not soon enough. That's embarrassing.
Oh, bro.
I thought I thought it was decrimmed, and I thought you can go get it pretty easily in there, but
Yeah,
like
my elbow hurts.
Yeah. But it's like, it's such bullshit. Like, what is, I mean, like, these fucking people.
I gotta ask you, you brought up going to see a game there. Have you been to away games to this point? Like,
I have not been to a single MLS away game that I can. Nope. I've only been to MLS home games, including the All-Star game.
Oh, that would have been cool. Those were cool. Like, yeah, that was cool, man. Those were cool kits. That was a cool All-Star game.
That was a cool All-Star game.
What was his name? Chris Garza or whatever, like, ruined his career.
What did he do?
The left back from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Something Garza.
But what did he do?
I don't know. He broke his knee like in half.
Fuck.
You don't remember that? It was all rainy and shit.
No, dude, I do remember it being rainy. Dude, we had the best seats in Soldier Field, amongst the best seats. I mean, there's people who were underneath the overhang who had better seats, but we had a spot that was underneath that was like underneath like a faux overhang that ended up basically working as an overhang for us, and we got protected from the rain. Okay. We thought, like, at first we were like, oh, these seats, they're not the greatest, but then when it started raining, we're like, oh, we just got to lean our heads back and we're not getting rained on.
Well, for me, the only 2 MLS games I've seen that haven't been at like SeatGeek or at the time Toyota Park or Soldier Field is I was on vacation in Denver, so I saw Colorado play Vancouver. Like, got to see Tim Howard in goal, got to see Breck Shea score a goal. I mean, it's as MLS as it gets, man. And then I saw the Fire play Columbus in Peoria for an Open Cup game. So that's the only time I've seen a game outside of Chicago.
Oh wow. But Columbus, that'd be a fun place to travel to. And now there's so many options, really.
Well, I mean, it's logical we got to go to a St. Louis game.
St. Louis, Minnesota, Cincinnati. That's not that far.
Minnesota's not bad. I used to work a gig where my boss was in Minnesota. And,
out of all those places, Nashville, that's the most appealing for me. It's just like good people, used to be good whiskey. Might have a slight issue with the water, with the water table now with what's going on in Ohio, but because I know that
don't even stress, bro. It's just it's highly publicized. There's garbage in our water right here.
here in the best tasting water in the world.
You know what? They do say like New York has better bagels because of the water, right? But
no, because the salt water. That's why they have good bagels there. Yeah. But that's why Chicago pizza is good, because we have fresh water pizza.
Oh my god, it really doesn't get any better than Lake Michigan, man.
Think about that, Toke. Saltwater bagels, amazing. Freshwater pizza, the best.
I mean, apparently, well, when we say fresh water, don't forget to put asterisks around that with all that garbage those steel companies in Indiana dump into Lake Michigan. Yeah, we get steel in our water and guns on our streets. Thanks, Indiana.
And still, the Swedes come over and they taste our water and are like, "Damn, it's good, yeah."
Oh my god, dude, don't even bring up anything. I can't believe you need to commit some time to a good idea. That's all I'll say.
I've been at Lollapalooza, and these Swedish people were in front of me, and I'm getting water, and they're drinking the water, and maybe they're tripping, maybe they're having a little too much fun, but they're like, "This shit's good, yeah." They said this shit's the best tasting in the world, yeah. And I look at them, I'm like, "It's good shit, yeah." And we had a moment with the Swedes there.
I love it.
They might have been Finnish. Either way, they were from the Nordic lands.
Beautiful. All right, dude. I'm gonna get out of your hair. I'm gonna let you finish your season preview.
Dude, yeah, all right, having fun.
What? You okay? I can chill. I can chill for a minute.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I think once you hop off, I'll rattle off the last few teams and close up shop or something. But
I gotta tell you, your last couple streams are an absolute like barometer of how terrible the Fire's off season has been. You were talking about aliens one week and watches the next.
Isn't that true? It's just like there's nothing.
Fire had signed a striker, you would not have talked about watches.
I'm here talking about Chicago Fire this week because they're ready. It's the season starting. It's like, and it's like last week is like, how do I talk about the Chicago Fire? Well, they sold a guy. Huh? We're like, okay, well, what can we do with that? Well, and we did something with that actually, like a few weeks ago when they sold them. We made a video.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, think about it, dude. Like that, if you had any indication of how the season's gonna go, we are the team they left off the schedule. Like for the first week, the Apple TV thought Real Salt Lake would do better numbers than the Fire. That was what was being said. That's why we're not on the schedule for week 1. Isn't that kind of disgusting?
It's not. As I understand the situation totally, the Fire reached a point where they can't even recruit a shirt sponsor. Where like someone's like, "Yeah, I'll give you $100,000 for that." Chicago Fire like $100,000.
So wait, is there rules in MLS against like alcohol? Because I have a feeling Revolution would want to do it if they could.
Revolution Brewing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, that would be such bullshit if it's true. If there is, because it should be Revolution. It'd be awesome. Because why can Daffabet have? Why can any betting enterprise have one? Why can I don't know if there's pharmaceutical companies, but if there are pharmaceutical companies that sponsor a team.
Well, they're health facilities. Look at the kerfuffle in Seattle,
right?
But well, it's because the religious groups haven't attacked, haven't attacked it like they did alcohol yet. They'll come around. They'll be like, "Oh, the betting, it's the work of the devil," and all that stuff.
I'm simulating the season again right now. This is actually 2023.
I see.
Apparently. We'll see how it turns out.
I got one other question for you. Yeah, let's see if the Fire get any better, by the way.
Oh, I hope so.
I have one question for you. I went to the Marianos today.
Ooh.
And you picked up my Prime.
Fun place to walk around.
Yeah, right. Dude, I love the live music on like Friday nights, dude.
Dude, I don't know why if you go there and you aren't grabbing a beer, why aren't you grabbing a beer? Like this place it's meant for us to go enjoy. And I think that you got to enjoy yourself. We are in times that are fucked. And
I remember the other Marianos I lived by in the Ukrainian village.
Mm-hmm.
They it was like, you know, the throes of COVID. And so instead of like live music, they had some DJ in there and it would just be so fucking loud.
That's a little too loud. I like the idea, but in the energy, but a little too loud for me.
But oh man, all right. So I'm
But get a drink in Mariano's. I think that's a cool thing to do.
Oh yeah, listen to some live music, man. These people performing.
You're walking around grabbing your bread, your peanut butter and jelly, and you got a nice IPA in your hand.
Oh, that's precisely why I want to ask you. I'm not a beer guy, not my thing, right? But I noticed there was a hazy something else, right? I didn't see the hazy pitch. Was that a limited time thing? Like, is that done for?
No, I thought that the hazy's like, you see, hazy is a type now. You'll see a lot of brands of beer brands making a type of hazy IPA. It is limited. I mean, all ingredients are limited to some degree with it, and they're using a specific type of hops to make that flavor. Yeah.
Are they doing the hazy pitch anymore? The fire beer or no?
I do not know. I do not have any confirmation about that. Hazy pitch. Is that with Goose or is that somebody else?
No, that's Revolution.
Revolution. Hazy pitch Revolution. I don't see it going anywhere. I see it being for sale for $10, and it has Chicago Fire on it. I might have to buy some of this.
Dude, it's not bad. I'm not a beer guy, but like I went to a watch party last year at what's the pizza joint across the street from Cleo's? But anyway, I got like I got a hazy pitch t-shirt. I got like a Mexican. It's like a fire jersey, but it's like Mexican theme for Jairo Torres.
Well, I'm looking up.
It's not a jersey, it's a t-shirt, but it's fashioned like a jersey.
Pizza place near Cleo's. I'm not seeing
Underdogs or something like that. Hold on, man.
Pierre's, Homestead, Roots.
That's it. It was Roots.
Roots handmade pizza.
Yeah, it was I remember I posted about it. It was like I took a picture of my girl. I was like, well, last place in the table, first place my heart. And like we were already in last place. It was like March. No, we were good for like a month, weren't we? Had to have been.
Dude, we had a good run. Like the Fire were like, all of us, our heads were turned. We're like, oh, maybe we won't be shit this year.
Speaking of, is the season still going?
No, the season's over, and we're gonna find out what happened. New York City, where the fuck did they come from? New York City takes the league with Red Bulls in second place. Never see that happening. That would be insane.
That's gonna happen after all the sanctions against Manchester City. They're gonna ship whoever wants to stay with Citigroup over to New York. And
okay. And Red Bulls are a good organization too. You know what's funny? Think about this. Both New York teams, they're both like bigger than New York. Red Bulls are sponsored by Red Bull. New York City sponsored by the Man City football. Like it's huge. Where's Chicago Fire? Like where's our connection to Manchester United?
We have a connection to Manchester United?
Yes. Fashion Schweinsteiger. I mean, that's their only kind, but it's there. And I always feel like that they're like hook, line, and I feel like they're reflections of each other sometimes because of how poor they've been lately.
I can only see till 8th place. Where is the Fire?
Moving down. I'll move down. Hold on. So Toronto moving into 3rd place like that. It's Columbus. These are the best teams. Toronto, Columbus, the New York teams. Some of the best teams in MLS, and there's still a healthy respect here for Orlando. I don't see it, but it's there. DC United, too much respect. Maybe if Wayne Rooney's doing well.
They're high on DC on this FIFA.
They really are. New England doing good. Atlanta, Philadelphia round out the playoff teams. 10th place for Chicago Fire.
Ooh, just missed the
10th
playoffs.
place.
Oh,
Ezra gets fired.
Decision day is tough.
Charlotte in 11th, Inter Miami in 12th, Montreal 13th, and Cincinnati in 14th. Move over to the Western Conference. We have at the top, it's Sporting Kansas City. He's back. Peter Vermees.
Love Peter Vermees.
Back at the top of the league. And everybody wanted to fire him. Everybody wanted to fire him and bring him over to Chicago. I mean, that was me, but everybody. And
everybody in the Spitting Fire household.
everybody in the Spitting Fire household. Maybe, actually, Mrs. Spitfire might have been at odds with me on this one. I don't know. Sporting Kansas City taking first place. FC Dallas second. Portland. Healthy respect for Portland Timbers in third place. LAFC. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Fourth place. Oh, yuck. Fold the team. Get rid of them.
Made the playoffs.
Yuck. Minnesota fifth. Austin. Sounders, Houston, and the final playoff team, LA Galaxy.
Wait, real quick. Your Houston team made the playoffs, right?
Whoa! My team made the playoffs, not getting fired.
Well, not just that, but it shows that Jesse Marsh is not the problem. It was the fire.
Oh wow! Jesse Marsh fired from Chicago one season, makes the playoffs with the shitty Houston Dynamo. Dude, isn't that just just the way that things go?
I mean, for real.
Real Salt Lake in 10th, Whitecaps in 11th, Colorado in 12th, San Jose in 13th, and Nashville round out the teams. And of course, there's no St. Louis. St. Louis don't exist in FIFA 23.
Oh, they'll finish last both years. Don't worry about it.
They don't count.
All right, James. Thank you for letting me come on and have some fun with you, bro. It was good. I wish we could have talked more shit to DPG. And I greatly enjoyed your story about your broken leg. So you have yourself a phenomenal evening, and I can't wait to hear the rest of your season preview.
All right, brother. Thank you, Toke. Check out Toke on FC Neo Tokyo's YouTube channel. He's been streaming every Friday. Love when you get that schedule. It's just boom. It locks it in. Good to hear. Go check out his work. He's got some funny stuff. I just love listening to him talk because he makes me chuckle and huckle a lot. Toke, thank you, brother.
Peace.
Toke signing off. Let's find out who's going to win MLS here before we finish off our MLS preview here on Spitfire. Thank you, everybody, for joining us live or after the fact. Comment below who is going to win it. Who is going to be the mid-season signing of MLS this year? Is Robert Lewandowski finally coming to MLS, and why is it not coming to Chicago? He's not coming to MLS. He's staying at Barcelona. But if that happened, we go ahead, withdraw that. I don't care. Move along. Standings. Here we go. All right, the conference finals were Sporting Kansas City versus Sounders, New York City versus Red Bulls. Did we do anything? How did we do? With looks like we lost in round 1. I thought we were. Oh, well, we would have made the playoffs. We didn't make the playoffs in FIFA, but we would have made the playoffs in MLS because they now have 9 teams. And now let's go to find out the last teams. New York Red Bulls versus Sporting Kansas City. I like this. I like this a lot. Let's see how it turns out. Who do you guys think is going to win? Excitement is building. Here it comes. Are you ready? Who do you think is going to win? Let us know. Will you be streaming Fire games this season? I'm actually not sure what I'm going to do about streaming Fire games or not. Because, I mean, my schedule is I stream Wednesdays. I don't know yet. Playing with the idea. I can say that they don't even have to travel to Disney World. The Orlando team, that is. And according to Forbes, MLS allows jerseys to be sponsored both by gambling companies and alcohol companies. Get Portillo's on there, or get Revolution Brewing on there. That'd be cool. There's that one in Revolution. That'd be it. All right, here it is. The 2023 champions. or Red Bull. And the U.S. Open Cup, Seattle Sounders. What? They won the U.S. Open Cup. Sick. See if the Fire did anything here. Look at that. Fire lost in round 2 to Charlotte. We're just looking ahead here, DPG. I just ran a couple simulations. Chicago Fire did terrible in the simulations.
On Football Manager?
No, FIFA 23.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And then another thing too is that people are freaking out earlier today because the Fire apparently made an offer for an Israeli player, and this guy, he's kind of a right-wing nut, so to speak.
Like a nut? Like a nut's different than just like a right wing. Like there's tons of right wing people, tons of left wing people, but when you're a nut, like that's a.
Put it like this: who the hell wastes their time photoshopping a Palestinian flag just to put an Israeli flag on top of it?
Okay, well, so when you're dealing with Israeli people, they have a certain sensitivity to Palestine. They see it in a different way than most people in the world see it. That is for sure. And that's why he sees it that way. Oh, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want that to invite that in this type of age, in this social media age, when you're trying to build a fan base. I mean, like.
And on top of it, you're a professional player. You know you're under this microscope.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how you get behind some sort of anti-Palestinian type of ideal. I mean, they did hire, though, that Saudi Arabian loving guy.
But the thing is that me personally, I don't care. But the thing is that I could just imagine how pissed off
Arlo White,
a lot of other Fire fans are gonna be if he does sign with the Fire.
To be honest, I don't care. I don't care how Fire fans feel about it if the player's good and he makes us win. However, there's a certain point where it's like, at what point are you selling your soul? Because you remember Katai? Like there's a certain point where it's like, I don't know why they didn't offer a jersey exchange for that situation. Because, like, there's certain situations where you as fans, it's like, where you become a fan of something or someone and you don't realize all the things about them, and they're not meant to be our heroes, right? But at the same time, we're trying to celebrate them and get them in a positive area. But then these people turn out to be some of the most most horrible people, scum of the earth type. Like, those people exist, and they actually can be in all sorts of places. And that presents a conundrum as a fan when all of a sudden your team's like, yeah, we got that guy on your team.
It's just, I guess you could say I'm looking at it from a point of view like, hey, this team already has enough issues as it is. Why add more to it, right?
Because it invites the like, they think that they're bringing in a player, and they're thinking, like, you know what, we'll be able to leave his politics aside. But they're like, you know what, MLS pundits, MLS people, MLS journalists are going to be like, they're going to feel not SJW, but they're going to feel compelled to ask questions. And it's not like picking on the player, like, but it's like, hey, you say these things, could you elaborate? And then bam, they hang themselves.
It's just, I don't know. I because it's just, we also have, I don't know, do we have any Muslim players on the Fire squad?
I don't know, but I mean, but what seems what you're suggesting though is it's just like, it reeks of some weird desperation.
Yeah, it does actually. It's just, like I said earlier, we're casting our net far and wide, and we're pretty much trying to sign anybody that has a a transfer listed designation next to their name.
DPG. So basically, it's like they spread their net so wide that to the point they're like, okay, racists. That's uncheck that filter on the scouting report.
I mean,
doesn't it?
I mean, then again, though, yeah. I mean, then again, it's like you kind of. I mean, I can't speak for the guy. You know, if that's how he was raised, I mean, I guess. Obviously, it's a whole different mentality here in the States when it comes to Palestine.
Mhm.
Um,
I think it absolutely is compared to what people in Israel feel. I've heard Jewish people, Israeli people, they feel differently than I think that most Americans feel about Palestine.
yeah.
I'm talking about Israeli Americans that I know.
Yeah. So it's
not all.
You know, I mean, it's just a whole different situation, and of course,
this YouTube video just got struck. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, it just that just invites a bunch of questions and whatnot. But I mean, I don't want to get like too political with it or
Right.
anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Toke said this: jersey swaps are a good idea for problematic players. Like, could you imagine being the problematic player and swapping jerseys? Like, you'd have to be like a saint. Like, you'd have to be like, you know, like one of the most saintly players, and then swapping jerseys with, like, you know, problematic player. Maybe that could kind of help soften the image.
Well, you don't want to be the one player that nobody wants to swap jerseys with. You know, so
people are still grabbing Ronaldo's jerseys.
Yeah, and you know what? Ironically, he's a very problematic player, and Manchester United cut ties with him, and somehow Manchester United is playing better without him. So
Marcus Rashford playing through the roof.
So I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. What are your expectations for this team?
Oh wait, excuse me. Choke saying that no, I mean that fans should be able to swap the jerseys with the organization if it's like a bad jersey, like like I have a Katai jersey, and you know what? They never offered a buyback for the Katai jerseys.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned this. So I tried doing that last year,
and I feel ashamed about this jersey I own. That's a sick Chicago Fire jersey, but it's got freaking this racist guy's name on the back.
No, well, here's the thing. I tried swapping my jersey out last year with the when we had when the Fire Lake kit came out last season, or no, not well, when they came out with the new logo, right? Because I actually bought the Lake Michigan kit with the old Crown logo, and
I know what you're talking about.
I called up my season ticket rep. I'm like, hey, can I just can I swap this out? Because I really hated this logo, but I like the jersey, and I really don't want to buy, spend same, I don't want to buy it again. And he's like, oh, you mean like if they trade a player, like how do I do in NFL? I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, we don't. I'm like, okay, well, thanks anyway.
Okay, well, wow. Yeah, see, like, yeah, no. When New England had that problem with their player that killed people, they offered a jersey exchange. It was simple. They said, hey, send it in. We'll give you anything else. Send it in.
No, exactly. And that's the thing with the Fire Crown logo is that when that logo first came out, I called on my season ticket rep. And I complained. I complained. I'm like, look, I don't like that logo. I hate that logo. I want you to make a note of it. I put it in the suggestion box, or send it up to higher ups. Okay. He's like, okay, I'll take note of it. So the fact is that I love the jersey. I hated the logo. I tried to get it exchanged. He flat out told me no.
You might want to keep that though, because that could be like a rare. All those there's a short term Chicago Fire crest that like almost nobody's gonna have, and I think that could be like a bit of a collector's item in a little bit.
Well, here's the thing: is that jersey that ended up becoming my autograph jersey. So I ended up getting Gaga's autograph on it. I ended up getting Bornstein's autograph on it, Andre Reynolds' autograph, Brian Gutierrez's autograph on it. So I'm probably just gonna use that jersey this year again if I try to get autographs again.
Mhm.
Try to get as much as I can. It sucks I didn't get Duran's autograph. That would have been
Oh my
nice.
God! How? Oh man, how did we not get Duran's autograph? I got a Schweinsteiger jersey on, by the way. Tokyo saying, can you peel off the name or the number? Or will it still look like it's there? I think it'll still look like it's there. I don't want to, fuck up the jersey like that, like at that point. But what I do when I wear it is I just try not to show the name ever on stream.
The thing is that you could, man. I wonder if you could ever take it back to like the printing press that the Fire had,
and they just melt it off and put
guy-
on Shaqiri. He's number 10, right?
Yeah, this guy was a racist.
You know what bullshit they'll give you? Here's the bullshit they'll give you. Like, we don't have that size, style, font anymore. Stickers. I'm like, so what? Put on the new ones.
I seen people
we can't because it's not official. Well, so the fuck what? Put it on.
Why did Neo Tokyo get out, man?
He was here as long as he could.
Yeah, I was hoping he'll stay on.
He's in chat right now, listening and enjoying.
Okay.
Talking chat with us. But he said, all love for Andre Reynolds.
Yeah, it's kind of. I remember the last home game for the Fire. I was walking out the stadium and I seen the Reynolds brothers. They were sitting in the Second City Star Club. Have you ever seen the layout for Bridgeview? You could kind of talk to people that are in the Second City Star Club if you're sitting in those front sections.
I know what you're talking about.
So I was walking out and I see them and I say, hey, good season, guys. I hope I see you guys playing together. And guess what happens? Andre Reynolds gets released from the club. And then afterwards, I felt kind of bad. I was like, man.
Like right after that?
Like, I think a few weeks after that, I guess he was just,
Well, here's the thing. As a fan, you aren't privy to the inner workings of the club. I mean, like, he can't expect you to know that. You're just rooting for his success. I don't think he would ever blame you for rooting for his success and then for him to get cut later because he will find success elsewhere.
What thing is, honestly, we did give Andre Reynolds a lot of chances to kind of, shine in the lineup. He might have had maybe one or two good games, but overall, the rest of the season, he was somewhat average.
I thought that in his limited time, he flashed. But he was injured. He got injured, and he just sometimes wasn't available.
Yeah, and then, Tokyo's right with the Gaston. Like, we re-signed Gaston.
What the fuck was that? That's because they didn't want to lose $5 million and like the horrible outlay. They're like, he might not be worth $5 million, but he is worth $500,000.
All they needed to do was just not do anything, let him get released, and let Boca sign him for free. I guess these guys were trying to be slick because we have the smartest GM in the planet. Try to be slick and said, "No, we're gonna re-sign him and we're gonna make Boca pay for him." And of course, Boca said, "Hell no."
Where do you see our next John Duran coming from?
I don't know. I honestly think that.
And think about this, DPG. He developed quickly, where Miguel Navarro, he's had the same amount of time, and I don't think we're feeling the same way about him.
Yeah, Miguel Navarro is just kind of a loose cannon. He's a walking yellow card. Sometimes he plays decent, but then other times he just gets pissed off, and he got red carded because he threw an elbow at a player because he was pissed off.
What? It was like, why? Dude, you're in the middle of the game. It was early in the season. It kind of precipitated the falling off. Like, there was the frustration was starting to grow there.
Yeah, and then it's just he has a habit of getting yellow cards like before the 20-minute mark.
Yes, and that puts you behind the 8 ball defensively because then you don't have that yellow card to give in the 70th minute when you really need it.
Exactly. How dependable can you have that guy? Like, this is why I was saying earlier that we need like competition on that left back side, because as of right now, we don't really have anyone that could cover for him. I mean, yeah, I know they mentioned, oh yeah, Suket could play the left back, but he's going to play the right back. You need another, you know, fullback on that left side.
And we spent money. Why did they spend money? I always read MLS pundits or journalists saying, like, you know, the amount of money GMs spend on outside backs never makes sense. Like, they almost aren't ever worth it, or at least like, or they're too much money.
And this is how you know, making trades in MLS plays a role. You don't want to spend a lot of money, but at the same time, you have a bunch of funny money. You can use that to actually trade around the league for a better player, for a left back. You know, in this case, a left back, instead of going over.
Toke saying that we didn't even develop Duran. He was just a shiny diamond amongst a dumpster. So, you know, when it comes to that left back, there's nothing there. I mean, like, they're just trying. They just keep trying with nothing. Where they got lucky with Duran.
It's like, you know, it's like this. It's like if Heights was the smarter man, he'll find a way to move some funny money around to bring in a left back from another MLS team.
Dude, Julian Gressel would have been great at that right back spot.
Oh
but
my God.
Connor saying, gotta bounce. I got the "Are you coming to bed?" text. Ooh la la. FC Neo Tokyo saying we need 3 more defenders all along the back line. All along the back line for the Fire. We need.
I'm not too crazy about the center backs because, you know, you have. Oh, maybe. Oh, you got, you know, Chicos, and you got
Turan's gonna take a step forward again.
And you have Almsberg on there.
Who's gonna pressure Turan for that starting position because without that injury. That's a good stop. I like our center backs right now. Our right back, we got Arnaud Souquet, and they say he's okay. They say I don't. But that left back you've identified, that's the issue. And there's no depth there. Really, what if you made Miggy the backup?
I mean, who are you going to put as a starting left back?
That's the thing. Someone better than Miguel Navarro.
Because think about it. If you try to put Souquet on the left back position, then who's going to do right back? Turan or the guy that we just signed from that USL team?
Oh, Burks. Yeah. Or I don't know.
Or, you know, you talk about Kendall Burks. I don't think Kendall Burks is ready yet.
Right.
He's the kind of player that you want him to come off the bench for him to get acclimated a little bit more.
We didn't see a lot of him, did we, at all? We saw a lot more from everybody else.
We saw a lot of him towards the end of the season.
And how did he play, would you say?
I think the first time he played, he wasn't he was okay. But I think the last game of the season, he actually played much better. Like he got rid of those jitters, and he actually was playing smart. So
he might be a replacement. Yeah, he might be a replacement center back. You're starting to make me feel like we basically need a starting left back. We got a starting center back at Chico's. We got a starting center back in between Olmsberg and Turan. There's a starting center back somewhere in there. And then at right back, we got to put our faith in Souquet, that bouquet of flowers. And that left back, though, Miguel Navarro, why should we hope for another season? Like, why not go try and find some sort of replacement? Connor saying the only nice thing he'll say about the Fire is that they always give that yellow team, Columbus Crew, fits every time they play them, and it makes him so mad, which is I love to hear.
We like to give you headaches, Connor.
We love to give Connor headaches, and we love to give that yellow team headache specifically, for sure.
There was a point in time where playing the yellow team was an easy 3 points.
It used to be. And then, like, something...
I remember back, was it 2013, I want to say, or 2014, when we had Mike McGee. We actually beat the Crew at Crew Stadium 2-0. And, man, we were, like, flying in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think 2013, I think, was probably the best season after 2017.
If we had to rank the Fire seasons on a tier list, yeah, those would probably be the most recent successes, the best successes.
And I say this because Mike McGee actually ended up becoming the league MVP that year with the Fire.
Well, what would be the third on that list in the last 10 years, going back to 2013?
It's been a lot of shit seasons. I don't even think I could put a third.
Jesus, I'm trying to find one. I'm trying to find a third.
I think because we were mediocre in 2014. 2015 we were mediocre. 2016 we were mediocre. 2017 we made the playoffs for a little bit. 2018, everybody thought that the Fire were going to build on that success from 2017, but unfortunately, we were mediocre again. 2019, we were mediocre again. I think 2019, for a while, I kind of stopped watching the Fire because they were so bad. It took me a while to even realize that we had Jonathan Bornstein on the team. That's how bad. That's how much I disconnected from that team at that time. 2020. COVID hit, MLS lockout or whatever it was called. It looked like we were gonna have a decent run. We beat Seattle.
It looked like the players were gonna get a bit more control, but the owners were like, no.
No, and the thing about it is that not only that, but the team would just after that win against Seattle, the team just nosedive. They lost against reserve team San Jose. And then the rest of the season, they were mediocre. 2021, they were mediocre. The funny thing about 2021 is that we actually got to see, Medran and Sekulic, or not Sekulic, Medran and what's his face? What was the striker that was crap before Shabilko?
Not Beric. Robert Beric.
So we saw Medran and Beric argue over a penalty, which, by the way, Medran missed.
Yeah.
And again, the 2021, they were mediocre. 2022, last year, I guess, I honestly think that if we would have won some games in that 10-game losing and not winning streak, we probably would have made the playoffs. I think for the most part, most people were more excited that we had a guy like Gaga playing for us and, later on Duran. And more people were hyped up about Gaga than actually the team even going into the playoffs.
You know what's crazy is Duran's kind of the surprise. Like Gaga was the thing that we were all as Fire fans were like, yeah. Duran, we all were like, then maybe it worked out, and all of a sudden, bam, it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to answer Tokyo's question, I mean, I could get a little bit more descriptive. So I think 2015 was the season where we actually signed Sean Maloney, and people were so hyped up about him. Oh yeah, he plays in Celtic. And,
oh my god!
He's gonna be the number 10, and he's and I think he had like maybe one good game, and that was like against Toronto, where the Fire won 3-2, and he scored. And then after that, he fell off hard, and then I think he left the Fire in August, and afterwards started complaining that, oh my god, I had to get my own personal trainer because the Fire didn't have adequate training facilities or adequate training personnel.
But did they? I mean, is that true?
You would think, oh, he's just talking crap, but then you rewind back, I think maybe a year before 2014. Let's say 2014.
This is before Schweinsteiger's even there, and it's abysmal. It's before Mansueto.
You had Mike McGee, right? He just came off from his MLS MVP season. He gets hurt, and I guess the Fire medical team misdiagnosed him.
Oh my god! And there's great medical teams in Chicago, so it's like, how did they find somebody?
And at first, I thought it might have been a rumor because someone posted it as a rumor, and I actually got to talk to Mike McGee, a year later or something like that. Just had a quick conversation with him. I'm like, hey, you know what happened with the fire? And he told me like, you know what, man, they misdiagnosed me. So that just kind of, made me realize, this team lacked professionalism in a lot
I
of
mean,
departments.
DPG, we should look no further than Lonzo Ball with the Bulls right now. Going on after his second knee surgery, they are now declaring him ineligible for this season, and saying that his career may be over. They're having severe issues with getting his knee repaired, though. And it's interesting that it's Chicago and it's the Bulls.
So I'm looking at the roster for 2014 Fire, just to kind of show you how bad this was, how
Oh, God.
mediocre this team was.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
so we actually had a midfield named Alex, which I think he was okay sometimes. He wasn't the best. Of course, we had Quincy Mariqual, who could score goals in weird angles, but for some reason couldn't score, head to head with a goalkeeper. Like he couldn't. It's weird with that guy. Like he used to score these weird, man, angular shots that you won't think will go in, but then he couldn't score like sitters. But nice guy though. Juan Ganangano was that was brutal. That guy couldn't score for the Fire, but somehow he found his way scoring for Comunicaciones or Municipal in the Champions League a season ago, I think. Or Baruch was like our first Israeli player. He came off the bench. He wasn't very good. At that point, he was more or less like a filler. I think a lot of these players were fillers or desperate buys. Greg Cochran was okay. Razvan Kochis was actually he was decent. He was probably one of the players that stood out. Billy Duca was actually a really good player. He just, I don't know, for whatever reason, he had a couple of good games. He just kind of started falling off, and then it got to a point where he just wasn't the same player anymore. Robert Earnshaw.
So wait, what year was this? This was 2014?
2014. Yep.
Okay.
Robert Earnshaw was like a late season buy. I think he only played a handful of games, and I think he actually scored in one. But he was crap. He was this is where we kind of get into the theme of us buying Toronto's crappy DPs. Let's see, we got Matt Fondy sat on the bench. Michael Frankel sat on the bench. Gentili sat on the bench. John Rutazo. I don't remember.
Friend of the show, Lavelle Palmer. Palmer.
I vaguely remember him playing. I guess he was okay. I don't. It's bad when you don't remember some of these guys playing. Patrick Ayani, he was past his prime. Sat on the bench. Of course, was another guy that stood out.
Mike Banner, better than everyone, says FC Toke.
Benji Hoya. So, interesting story about Benji Hoya. I actually got a chance to talk to him, when he was playing with the Fire. Cool dude. He seemed like he cared. But man, that kid just fell off. Like he was like a U20 product from one of the Mexican teams. I think it was Santos. There was a lot of hope and expectation when we signed him. People were getting hyped up. And I think he scored one goal and that was it. He kind of fell off. And fun fact, a couple of years later, I think I would say a few years ago, he actually went to jail because he was talking to an underage girl or something.
Oh, fuck. Well, fuck that.
Yeah. He was playing in I think he was playing semi-pro league by then.
Sounds like a scumbag.
Hunter Jumper. He was actually okay. And he actually had some pretty good games up until the point he really got a bad injury, like a concussion, and he wasn't ever the same anymore.
Harry Ship, my brother used to play with him.
Yeah.
Logan Pause.
Alec Khan, who, by the way, I think he's still playing.
He is.
He's a starting goalkeeper for.
I think he's the backup now, but yeah.
Yeah, so.
I think Cincinnati or LA.
Yeah. we had Alec. I mean, besides Alec, we had Steve Kinney, which I think he did pretty decent. Jeff Lowettowitz was always one of the guys that stood out.
Big Red.
Yep, Big Red, and he was Big Red before we had Dax. He was red before we, Dax McCarthy. So, and he was actually a pretty good player. And keep in mind, he just retired. Last season? Of course, Mike McGee was our MVP.
What about Razvan Kochis?
He was good. He's one of the guys that stood out. But like a lot of these guys came like throughout the season, didn't do much. Like Sana Niasi didn't do much. I remember we had Kyle Renish as a goalkeeper. Chris Ritter was I think he was a draft pick. Like for Florent Sinama Pongel, he was like a late season addition and he didn't do much. Grant Ward was a lone player. Like if you guys, for those of you guys that watch the Premier League, especially in the lower leagues, Grant Ward is still active and playing in those leagues, but he was actually loaned out to us from Tottenham.
That's nuts. I always pick him up in Football Manager.
Yeah, and he had a couple of flashes, but nothing for us. I think some of us were actually interested in keeping him.
Tokyo says he hated Lorenowitz, and I know a lot of fans don't like Jeff Lorenowitz for some reason.
That's weird. Of course, you got Mauricio's brother Victor Pineda. I don't think he was given a first shot to shine.
No, he was not, right? That's the rumor.
Yeah. And I mean, if you were a young player during this time period for the Fire and this craziness, I don't think you got a first shot.
No, you did not. And what about the coaches? How did the coaches get a fair shot?
I think who was coaching it? Was it it was after Klopas, so it might have been what's his face? The idiot from San Jose. Jesus, what's the guy's name? Who was coaching the Fire? Canadian
Yallop?
guy. Yep, Yallop. Oh man, and Bakari Samari. But actually, you know what? I actually did like Baki. But man, he got weird after he got let go from the Fire. He used to really talk a lot of crap about the Fire. Like he would go off on them. He would record himself, going up to try to get into the games and whatnot, and not letting them in. And he was talking all this crazy stuff about buying the team and everything. Like he lost it, I think.
Who is that? Bakari Sumari?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Like he just went. So you might still find a couple of people that remember this, but man, he used to go on those even before you had like these video chats, but I forgot what it was, but he used to go on there and just start ranting about the Fire, pissed off about them, talking about how his European team, still checks up on him, and he's talking about buying the team with his buddies, and it was just weird, like he was unhinged almost.
Weird. Buying the team with his buddy. It makes you wonder who's his buddies. Your buddy connected? Got some money somehow?
And I actually think that all that information that he was saying about buying a team actually made it to a hot time in the Old Town article.
Sumari tried to pick up Tokyo's ex-wife. Holy shit.
Oh wow. Man.
Holy shit.
Samari was about to get his ass kicked by Tokyo.
Holy shit.
Keep in mind, I don't care. Just want to say that Samari's a tall dude, Tokyo, but I think you could take him.
There's your TikTok clip or whatever it is. I don't do TikTok, but your YouTube short. Samari tried to pick up our co-host's ex-wife.
Exactly. So this is you know what, and this is crazy because 2014 was kind of like the season where people were expecting the Fire to play better because we just have we had the league's MVP, the team for the most part kind of stuck around the same, but they just nosedive, and then this was 2014, 2015 was like mediocrity all over again. Like this was like bottom of the barrel mediocrity. Like you had weird players. what I mean by weird, you had like these randos just show up because the Fire signed them.
Well, it's always been the case of the Fire. If there's teams in MLS that don't feel as random, like there's teams that are worse than the Fire that just don't feel as random, like San Jose.
Yeah,
San
It's like-
Jose signed Ned Grabavoy, Chicago player, and I think he's now an executive in the league.
yeah. And the thing about 2015 that's weird is that this was the year that we signed David Accam.
Oh, and he won a contest. FC Neo Tokyo saying I'd 5'5". That'd be a tough ass to take down Sumari. I think he's like 6 foot huge.
So 2015 was again another weird year, but this is a year that this is a year that we got David Accam,
6
that
foot
we
3.
got that we got Matt Poster. Let's see who else. It's like even looking at this roster, it's just I get jittered. Like oof, like come on. We had guys like Adilton, I can't even say his name. Adailton that didn't do much.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, the midfielder from Brazil, kind of started falling off. We had guys like Kingsley Bryce.
Lovo said they had a team. Lovo said they had a team that could have gone places. They could have done it if they had the right coach. They had the pieces, but that's every team that does believe that, right? But sometimes it's actually the truth though. Sometimes it's like you had your team had enough, just didn't have the right leader.
We had Michael Stevens on this team, and this was the Sean Maloney team. This is a team that had Kennedy Bonanike, that guy that couldn't score much.
Dude, we should. If you want to talk, I got to get Lavelle on this. I'm sure he'd be able to. He could talk about all these guys.
If you want to get him on here, I would love to talk to that guy. Because man, how the hell are you gonna try to win the MLS Cup with a guy named Gilberto as your striker? And which, by the way, he was a failed DP from Toronto.
Oh wow! I can't believe it. I mean, I don't know what the game plan is there with Chicago Fire GMs at that moment. What they're aiming for.
And I guess when that didn't work, they signed another Brazilian guy named Del Prado, which was he was trash.
I remember that. Yep. Chat was saying Grazzini.
He was trash. Grazzini didn't show up in 2015. And we still had Mike McGee. So, I think this was his injury year where he got hurt, and I think he ended up getting traded back to LA, or we let him go, and he went back to LA.
And he went right back to being successful. He's like, screw that place. I tried, but it's not. There is no saving them.
There's no saving them.
By the way, I just got the knock from the producers. I gotta have to close it up here in the next. I think in the next 7 to 8 minutes.
All right, that's fine. We could call it now, man. I actually gotta, take a shower and go to sleep too.
DPG, I always love when you stop by, man. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for reminding me of crappy, memories of the Fire.
Dude, it's all we have right now, and we have a couple good ones that we're like, oh yeah, those moments, or those good times, and the moments are scant. But in this season, not a lot of hope that there's going to be any additional moments added to the cupboard.
By the way, if you check on Twitter right now, Fire Talk actually posted the pictures of that Israeli guy. Like this is, what we were talking about earlier about him photoshopping the Israeli flag over the Palestinian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess someone posted out the proof.
Oh, so Fire fans already got it.
Yep.
I don't know if I can show that on the old YouTubes, but maybe. But is it that bad, or is it okay that it's just
it's okay.
It's just a flag or something? Okay.
It's just a flag. It's just a flag. He basically just photoshopped this Israeli flag on top of the Palestinian flag.
All right.
Nothing crazy.
Give me a second here. Pulling it up.
Oh crap, we still had Logan Paul's in
Yeah.
2015.
I mean,
Oh my god. They kept calling that guy the back passer, and I could see why. He kept passing the ball back instead of moving it forward.
Support all over the world. Thanks for your support. So so you did this over the Palestinian flag?
Hmm.
That's weird, dude. That's fucking weird. Is he a kid?
He's like in his 30s, mid 30s, a grown man.
Because he could be a dumb kid or a dumb adult, and it's kind of worse if you're a dumb adult, because then you've had time to learn. Damn. Yep. Shame. Moving on, right? I think you just cut bait. I'm hearing. I'm reading this chat from. I'm reading this comment from Marty saying that this new MLS format is farcical. It's just a joke. For every stride the league takes forward, it drags itself back with things like this, and it's irrelevant for Chicago Fire anyway. So I guess that's something to be thankful. I mean, it might work out for the Fire to make it, but this does seem like a step backwards in a way. How does this help the league? Oh, I lost DPG. DPG, have a good evening. I must have lost him. Must have had to head off. We will catch him on the next stream. Thank you for joining us here on Spitfire. But I'm curious, guys, what you guys think. Let us know in the comments below, live or after the fact. Great, love to read it. Do you guys agree with this MLS playoffs? 3 games for additional games. I mean, it's just there's just more going on. So best of 3 opening round, no draws allowed in those games. Playing game for the 8-9 seeds in a single elimination. I guess that's fine. I mean, is that really horrible? This playing game for the 8-9 seeds, does that really water it down? What really waters it down is this best of 3 opening round. That just seems silly. Why a best of 3? It's a soccer game. It's not a hockey game. This is way different. I don't know. This is a little wonky. I get what they're going for, but I don't think so. Pablo saying people have opinions. I'll offer mine. I like the playing game. I like the playing game too, actually. You see how exciting it is in other sports. In my opinion, it's not even really the play. Actually, that's funny. How I agree with you, Pablo, 100%. When I read it, I'm like, I like this playing idea, but the best of 3s? No. Met on the best. No, not even met on the best 3. No, on the best of 3s. But it made for some killer third matches back in the day. Clubs hate each other after 3 games in a week. That is true. That is true. But do you really? I mean, these guys are supposed to be coworkers, right? They're supposed to be getting together at the end of your banquet, shaking hands at the end of the game, and wishing each other, the best. See that at the end of a hockey game, and they fight tooth and nail to win that, and to the point where they're fighting each other with fisticuffs. I don't know if this is the answer. Let me know if you guys like this. If you guys like a few more playoff games. I think this makes it more likely that I'll watch some of these opening games. Like I just don't. I feel like they have less value, and even then, the regular season has a little less value because now they've brought in a few more teams, 9 on each side of the conference now. Like I said, I actually don't see too much of a big problem with the play-in game idea, but 3 games I'm not so sure of. Interesting. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think about that. Love to read them. Guys, we stream live every Wednesday here on Spitfire. Greatly appreciate everybody joining us live the entire time we've been streaming the entire show. Everybody from Archduke, FC Neo Tokyo, Connor, Axe, everybody, and DPG stopping by. Greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you, everybody lurking in the background. We had a lot of people lurking in the background, just stopping in, checking out. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out too. And helping out the show. Greatly appreciate you guys taking a moment, kick that like button. Helps a lot to send this type of content out to other people looking for some fun soccer banter, talking MLS, because that's what we like to do here on Spin Fire when the time is appropriate. As DPG mentioned, as Toke mentioned, I mean, it's been been hard to talk fire lately because the hope is low, but MLS, there's a lot to offer, and I think there's going to be a lot of meat to that bone as the season goes on, as we have that Apple TV package, and we're going to get to enjoy it. Tokyo saying, I don't need somebody to believe everything I do, but there are just some things that feel right and wrong, and I don't want to cheer for a total jerk. I totally agree with you. You know what I mean? Totally. Like, I don't need everybody to agree on me 100%. I don't, and nobody does. So there, got that going for me, which is nice. But at the same, like, there's a certain point where, like, it's like, whoa, I think there's like a clear line, but maybe that line is not so clear. But them's the difference of culture. And when you study politics, you come to learn that a lot of politics and culture, they all melt in this weird melting pot. It's nuts. I mean, look at what's the state of the world with Russia, Ukraine, USA, and everything that's going on. It's just, and everything that's happened before. World War II, World War I. World War II to 1865. How many years do you think that was? 1865 is the end of the Civil War. And like less than 100 years later, Nagasaki, Hiroshima. It's absolutely nuts, guys. 80 years. 1945. Less than 80 years to go from the end of the Civil War to the nuclear bomb being dropped. It's nuts. I mean, time travels fast, technology travels fast. Listen to a crazy little podcast earlier today. I think it was Brett Weinstein or Eric Weinstein with Joe Rogan. And what it was talking about UFOs. And that's what got me interested. I was like, oh, I'm curious to hear what this physicist engineer type person has to say. And it was some very interesting stuff about UFOs, nevertheless. But it was also interesting was like, he was saying like, you know, none of the people who I think are the smartest people on the earth are working on this issue. So it makes me wonder how far we as a species really are. But I also wonder, you know, is there a breakaway civilization? Secret studies, secret off. That the smartest people in our sectors, in our world, don't know. But are working, the best men, the very best men working on these things is that UFO technology. They talk about 1953, they talk about how technology and it's weird how it has these weird jumps and then stagnation periods. Interesting podcast. Highly suggest you check it out if you're into that type of stuff. A type of technological futuristic mumbo jumbo, talking about aliens included, and it was a lot of fun. That's the Joe Rogan Weinstein podcast. I think it just came out like today, 2/22. Check that out. Highly recommend it. I know some people might they're this little scared. You know, Joe Rogan might make them a little nervous, but he's just a dude. He's just a dude exploring, just like all of us. Just like sometimes, you know, we got the magnifying glass and we're like right on it, and sometimes we got the magnifying glass and we're like right on it, and it's really a giant and we have no idea. And sometimes we don't have it, the magnifying glass at all. We're just lost in the woods without a GPS. And we're just on an adventure, trying to figure out this thing. A lot of fun. That's what we do here. All right, guys, I think I'm going to close it down. Thank you for joining us here on Spitfire. Kick that like button. Let's freaking go. Fire it up, footballers. Catch you guys on the next stream. And have a great one. Let's freaking go. Live every Wednesday. And we have the best people here. It's always so fun. All right, guys, I'll see you guys next time. MLS this Saturday, starting 3:30. You're going to check it out on Apple TV. Hopefully you got that. And Chicago Fire are going to, of course, play next week, March 4th. Will we be streaming live? I don't know. We'll figure that out. Check us out live every Wednesday, though. Hit that bell icon to get notified of our live streams. Sometimes we have surprise ones, too. Appreciate you guys hanging out and watching the stream and commenting and contributing to the show. You guys are always the best co-writers in the business. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Fire it up, footballers. Keep it down and stay safe. I'll see you guys next time. Let's go.